Okay. You counted down as if we were actually going to do like a sync there.
I already started.
I sync it later. It's
let's
fine.
Let's just get that right off the bat. We are not professional.
We did a lot of research for this episode.
So,
and definitely not just Wikipedia.
On the comment we just had immediately prior to starting recording, I want no moderation in the comment sections. Okay, we will not. If you post something, good viewer, I will fight you about it, and it will stay there, unless it violates YouTube terms of service, in which case YouTube might take it down.
I will never.
This
delete
is the
a comment.
podcast that believes in free speech and
it
believes in my
depends on the
ability to
comment.
free speech bully you out of our comment section.
No, Ray, I will never delete a comment, no matter how hateful it is, because I get the engagement out of it.
That's true.
I get hate comments all the time on my YouTube videos.
Yeah, true.
And I don't delete them.
I do write half of them.
That's true. Yeah, it's just Ethan and you botting hate comments.
That's a good idea, actually. I have a lot of things to say about you guys that I don't say because
that's
we're friends.
A good idea. Do like a what's it called? Anyways, doesn't matter. Let's keep going.
We listen and we don't judge, but opposite.
No.
Where it's just Ethan airing out his grievances with us, but anonymously.
Don't even get me started. The grievances episode.
Yeah. It's just Ethan being like, Connor talks about Transformers too much, and Ray talks about Ace Attorney too much. Nobody cares.
I literally haven't talked about Ace Attorney in days.
Grand sophistication of the great city of Edmonton. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I would subscribe to an episode.
So I would 100% listen to that.
I would watch. We should do that at some point.
Episode 100. The haters airing their grievances. Oh no, that's perfect. We could do like a Always Sunny intro card of the gang airs their grievances.
That would be so good.
Will we? And that's a real test of our friendship. It's like, will we stay friends after this?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
That's exactly what Always Sunny is about. It's just 5 assholes rubbing up against each other in the wrong way.
Oh.
So who intros this?
Excuse me.
It's like a group one.
You first, but I don't mind doing it if you want to. If you want me to, but technically it's Ray's turn. But Ray will be doing the next one either way. So.
Ray will be doing the next one.
Next 2, actually.
I guess so, yeah. 2? I didn't think about that. I was like, there'll be a break between.
No breaks.
Like, no, it's not.
No, we're back on the grind set. We're back
on the grind.
Summer's over. Back to school. Okay, I got it. Welcome, folks, listeners, purveyors of fine podcasts. If you're looking for a fine podcast, you came to the wrong place. Welcome to Don't Even Get Me Started, a podcast about presentations about stuff. I'm Ethan, and I'm joined, as always, by my dear friends, Connor and Ray. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
And today, we did another group episode for a very spooky Halloween episode. Which might come out on Halloween or near Halloween.
Look, this is coming out like late November. Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes out tomorrow. I'm gonna be busy.
That's true.
I'm so excited. This is now transitioning into a what Connor wants that game to be episode.
I did date it to 2025, so it just have to be this Halloween, not next, Connor. Just come on, man.
And we will know. Even though you're editing it, and the audience will know.
Is right here, and there's some kind of dromaeosaurid, and I don't know what that's supposed to be. I guess a discount Tyrannosaurus. I ripped this image off the Cryptid wiki.
Oh, I was confused why there's like
I just googled cryptids and it was like the second result, so I just like this works.
What a wild.
Probably like a third of my research is from the Cryptid wiki. So.
Oh, mine too. Don't worry.
I tried to find real sources where I could.
There's, I used Wikipedia. I used Wikipedia for one, Cryptid for 3, and then extra for one of them, and an extra for another.
Wikipedia.
You'll notice, kind listener, from the release schedule, this is the fastest we've put an episode together ever.
I think it is.
I did almost entirely all of mine today.
I did like a third of it today.
I've done that before too, but like all 3 of us at the same time. I'd
plan on doing just like the final touches today, and then I realized I had a lot more to do than I thought I did. So I started at like 11 because I slept in by accident. And then I was finished it at like 6 o'clock, and that's like a third of my episodes.
Let it be known, I wrote notes for this on my phone sitting at work through the Google Drive app.
I did most of mine sitting at work.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I did mine not at work, but I was emailing a bunch of stuff about work because I had also some last minute work stuff that's been driving me bonkers. So work. I was doing everything all at once.
Going back to the unemployed zone soon.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, me too, actually. I gotta lock into school. I'm so far behind.
I like dip in and out.
Anyway, so
once in a while.
The topic of the podcast that we put so much effort into is cryptids. We're all big fans of cryptids. We like the spooky guys that go bump in the night. You may have heard of some, and we have listed them.
Every cryptid.
We did a draft.
All of them.
Yep, we didn't skip any.
No, not at all. I did not miss one
we
at all.
We definitely did not, because there's only, I think there's more than 15 guys.
No, there's like exactly 15.
I think we have 15 in this episode.
Yeah.
Because Connor
added one, and I did not do one of them, which I was looking forward to doing, and I unfortunately could not.
This is okay. This is okay. But we were talking about cryptids because spooky Halloween. We divided it up into 3 sections. We'll each go one by one like most guest episodes, and I'm first because they have cursed me with this burden. Next slide.
You put your slides in first.
To switch it if you want.
No, it's fine.
They've already introduced the episode. They have to at this point.
It's true. And I listen. I was just the first one to actually put any information on the group document, which is fine. It's fine. This is what I get for going early. Anyway, so great place to start. Top tier cryptid. Yeah, you know him. You love him. It's Bigfoot. It's Sasquatch. It's Yeti. It's Skunk Ape. It's Yowie. It's a bunch of other names from around the world. It's the hairy bipedal ape from the woods.
What was
the
Yowie?
Oh, we'll get to the Yowie.
Oh.
I know what you're actually
Connor, you reacted a little more than I did.
No, I know what he's talking about.
Oh,
every picture of Ethan I've ever taken looks exactly like this.
That's true. No, that's not true. Every photo I've taken of you looks like a Bigfoot photo.
That is true.
I know exactly
especially prior
which photo
to like 2019.
That's true. There are no images of me prior to that.
There's one picture of Connor in high school eating lunch with his friends, and it's just like a blurry picture of him looking behind him. If I send it, I hope you put it in.
Do you have it?
Connor in the future? I do have it, yes.
I definitely also have a blurry photo of you I got from Liam.
Yeah, I got some from, I think, I don't remember who it was in high school, but yeah.
Yeah, so Bigfoot joining us on the pod this evening. So yeah, it's Bigfoot. I feel like this doesn't need much explanation. It's the hairy bipedal ape that is rumored to live in the wildlands, untouched by man and civilization. And he stalks around and generally just hides from you, but will also kill you if he gives the chance. I don't know. It's a rumor. So Bigfoot's like rumored to come from like native legends of wherever area in the world he's from. This is almost entirely and emphatically bullshit, whether he's called Sasquatch or whether he's called the Yeti or the Abominable Snowman. There is a lot of good detail and research done by Trey the Explainer in their video, The Native Bigfoot. Very, very good video that goes into how the North American Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, is an entire, like, it's just a Western fabrication. Any attempts of, like, appropriation, like, and the appropriation of native culture that goes into it, to, like, supporting evidence for a native Bigfoot is just bullshit. It's not real. Bigfoot's not, and that's what most of mine are going to be, but none of these are real. I'm sorry. There is no whimsy. Cryptids aren't real. As much as I love Bigfoot, I love the idea of Bigfoot. I love the homie in the woods chilling out there. I'm a big fan of Bigfoot. Definitely one of my, like, top, he's easily clears the top 3, maybe even tied for top 2 of my favorite, definitely not real things that I'm a big fan of, which is why I picked him in the cryptid draft. So Bigfoot comes from a couple incidents in the early 20th century. There's this one, and both are from Northern California. We'll get to the images we have here on the slide shortly, but one not pictured is from July 16th, 1924, called the Ape Canyon Incident, which involved actually some men in Oregon, or is it in Washington? I don't know. What state is Mount St. Helens in, Connor? Is it in Oregon or is it in Washington?
I have no idea. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
This would be something I should know. I think it's in Washington. Whatever. West Coast, lots of fucking trees, because this is the early 20th century. They hadn't cut down all the trees out there yet, right? There were still trees.
Give them 30
but there
years.
were a group of gold prospectors who were run out of the woods by some ape men in a gorge near Mount St. Helens, then still a few years from blowing its top. I mean, nobody believed them, and there was like no major like evidence of a fight or scuffle by the cabin where the gold prospector said it was. So it was generally written off. And then another famous one that comes before the image on the left is the image on the right, which is from a man named Jerry Crew. In 1958, he found this footprint while working as as part of a logging company in Humboldt County, California, in like Northern California, and it was 16 inches long, right? Way bigger than a normal human footprint. It's also completely bare, right?
Numbers.
And this was in Six Rivers National Forest. So. And so this is kind of in 1958, in the early 20th century, is when these rumors of bipedal ape men in the woods start coming to light. They start being coming up, and so that leads to the very famous image on the left of the walking Bigfoot. This look back pose, which is like a certain numbered frame on the film. This is the Patterson-Gimlin film. If you want to look it up. It's very fun to watch, actually, but
it's a movie or
no. So
like
in the same way that the Zapruder film is a film, this was actually a literal like filmed on a physical film, right? Because it was before a digital camera in 1962. Okay, there was a physical film reel that involved the shooting of this Sasquatch allegedly, right? Sorry, do either of you know what the Zapruder film is?
That one I'm not familiar with. I have seen this video, but I don't know what
the Zapruder film is the one where Kennedy gets waxed. The famous image of that. That's what I was referencing.
Then I have definitely seen that.
There.
I'm not at all familiar with this.
His head just did that. It's crazy.
His head just did that.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Wax?
I like how his head just did that, made it click for you.
No. Waxed? Is that what you said how to describe it?
I said wax. Listen, I might talk about death flippantly sometimes. It's not my best character trait. But yes, so, and this film really kicks off the Bigfoot craze. It gets brought, this goes to news channels, right? The guy who filmed it, Patterson. So the two men, Patterson and Gimlin. Patterson's was more known as like a con man. And Gimlin was kind of his buddy on horseback for the whole thing. It's never been like fully debunked. Of course, people will watch it and it's like, okay, it's probably someone in a costume. Yeah, they brought 3 horses up. They only brought 2 guys up. We don't know of a third person who went up. They try to argue that it's a female Sasquatch by saying there's breasts in it, right?
Hot.
But like.
Okay.
There it is. I personally am heavily biased and be like hell yeah, dude, I believe it. Why not? It's what's the harm in it?
We love woke Bigfoot.
Yeah. Now, while this one, the Patterson-Gimlin,
the goddamn liberals got to buy Bigfoot.
The Patterson-Gimlin film has not been like solidly debunked, right? As much as I think Gimlin's still alive. One of the two of them is still alive and it's not like said that they faked it, and the other guy maintained it was real until he died of cancer sometime in the 70s. It's also fun, like the original, like the Wikipedia article for the Patterson Gimlin film, that's a long article with a lot of detail. Hold on, does my cat want out?
And believe it or not, we've actually got him here today on this exclusive interview.
Yeah, Bigfoot.
Yeah, with Bigfoot himself.
But besides the film, the family of Jerry Crew, there was a coworker of his named Ray Wallace. He had a large collection of carved wooden feet in his basement, like for doing Bigfoot casts. So he was just pranking everyone on his work site.
Fair enough.
Okay, hold on. My cat needs to get out. 1 sec.
Everybody should go look up Peter Kane dog training Bigfoot. Just look it up. It's incredible. It's hilarious.
Dog training? Is that what you're
Peter
saying?
Kane dog training. Just look it up.
Hold on.
Which cat was that, Ethan?
Simon.
Crouton. Got it.
I can leave. You know, you can do the rest of this by yourself if you want.
No, Ethan.
Yeah, so what's my cat's name?
Let me dead name your cat. God damn it. You may take my podcast, but you will never take my dignity.
What's his name?
It's Simon.
I feel you gotta.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Anyway, so Rant Mullins was
Ethan,
a man
do you know who Peter
from
Kane dog
Toledo, and he
is?
revealed... Shut up.
Have you seen his Bigfoot videos?
Who?
Peter Kane dog training. I'm sorry, there was delay. You didn't start
Does he
talking
do
till I was halfway through
Does he
my
do
sentences.
Bigfoot videos? I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he did a bunch of videos on Bigfoot. They're pretty funny.
Oh, fuck yeah. There's so much good Bigfoot media out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go into it forever. But also, I should, before we move on too far, the attacks on the prospector, this guy named Rant Mullins, he said, yeah, me and a bunch of other foresters in the national forest near St. Helens, we dressed up as apes and used large feet to scare off some huckleberry pickers. And so that's how the name, they were claimed to be responsible for the Ape Canyon thing. And so there's a cave in near St. Helens that is dedicated to which is called the St. Helen, they called themselves the St. Helen Apes.
Sick.
Which, I mean, yeah, that's awesome.
Why
can't protesters be
you want to
cool
fuck
like
around.
that anymore?
I mean, yeah, dude, isn't it awesome? But yeah, Bigfoot media. Bigfoot media is great. I saw some wacky bullshit on Netflix a couple years ago. I think this was pre-pandemic. It was a guy down in Nordegg with a feature-length documentary with some of the craziest looking, it looked like he had some fucking gorillas out in the woods with him, with the way however he faked it, I don't know, but whatever. But Bigfoot media is great. Finding Bigfoot, fantastic show, love that shit. I'm a big fan of Cryptids, man. I think this shit's cool. We all think this shit's cool. Why else wouldn't we be talking about it?
I actually think they're lame
What
and
else is the
stupid,
point?
actually.
But yeah, this is kind of some of the inciting incidents for Bigfoot. This is what really propelled Bigfoot into the popular culture. At the same time, you get all these, all these other things of UFOs and ghosts and all this shit. This all kind of comes out of the same time period in the middle of the 20th century. Now, besides Bigfoot, next slide, please. We got a bunch of other hairy apes around the world, and how do we explain them? The shit drawing on the left is from the Wikipedia for the Yeti, drawing of the Yeti, which I mean, it's yeah. It reminds me of the drawing of polar bear in a snowstorm, where it's just 3 dots on a piece of paper. But yeah, so you got the Yeti from the Himalayan area, the abominable snowman. my understanding, some of the earliest, like, the naming convention, because Yeti, just like Bigfoot, has an extensive Wikipedia article about it. The naming convention for Abominable Snowman came from a British man not knowing or maybe mispronouncing or misunderstanding some Tibetan, because some of the Tibetan words that he was translating to Abominable Snowman were very close and similar to bear. So that's another thing, is a lot of Bigfoot sightings are probably just bears standing up. Bears stand up. Bears can, like, kind of bumble around a little bit while walking upright. They'll be tall, and you'll be freaked out because you're like, why are you walking upright?
Why are you being man? Why are you man?
Why are you like that?
Why are you like that?
And I mean, the Yeti's the same thing. It's a hairy guy. He's got, like, some ideas taken from the the Tibetan, like, folklore of the area. And he generally starts to evolve as Europeans come around and start being like, oh, hey, let's climb these mountains and see tracks that are probably just bears. Next up is in the middle is the Yowie. That's a statue of a Yowie somewhere in Australia.
Hell yeah.
Ripped this from a Wikipedia page. My only note for this is, I don't know, I'm not going to say that. That's a bad word in the notes. I don't want to make extra work for Connor.
No.
What?
How bad a word? What level? What grade?
Okay, it's stray. Yeah, it's just the C word.
Oh.
That's my only note. I guess I was giving up at this point, but the Yowie, again, is stuff cribbed from, it's got, like, little bits and pieces cribbed from indigenous folklore, which, again, I very much encourage anyone listening and my co-host to listen to Trey the Explainer's The Native Bigfoot, because it goes into detail, especially for North American indigenous populations, but you can see how vague details of poorly understood stories can be turned into pretty much anything you want. And it's just kind of this cultural appropriation that gets turned into a whole story that's not even real. Like, the Yowie page is really short. Like, from a quick skim, maybe there's a sighting or, like, a footprint thing. Maybe there's not. Like, I don't know. It could just be like, yeah, Australia needs a Bigfoot too. Fuck it, why not? And, I mean, there's more of, like, you know, hairy ape men all around the world. You can find them on any continent, anywhere where Europeans have gone and not understood local wildlife.
I was trying to formulate that joke too.
I was explaining too hard. I didn't hear
it. You said you find hairy men anywhere, and I said you could find them at your local community pool.
That's true. That's true.
I think we have a lot of
hell yeah. We love bears.
It's me. You'll find me at your local community pool. I'm a hairy man.
That's true.
That's true.
And then on the right is I have a skunk ape statue, which is somewhere in Florida. Skunk ape is just a local Floridian name for Bigfoot. Kind of like how Sasquatch is the Pacific Northwest name for Bigfoot, and how Momo the monster is a Missouri version of Bigfoot, and how the Fook monster is an Arkansas version of Bigfoot. You gotta have your own special state, right? You gotta be special.
Does Canada have a Bigfoot?
You probably just go with, like, Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Sasquatch or Bigfoot. I don't know. There's probably, like, a hairy ape man special for Manitoba. You call him Mike or something. Yeah. And then we go to the next slide where we get some real life things, which we'll touch on briefly because I'm sure Connor will want to talk about them more extensively in the future.
I do want to do hominid episodes.
Yeah. Here we have on the left Gigantopithecus blacki. On the right is a partial skeleton of Homo floresiensis. First we'll do Gigantopithecus, this nice drawing from the Wikipedia, which had a fun story about its first fossils, which were some very large molars that a man by the name of Ralph von Koningsveld found, I think in Java or somewhere in Indonesia. Found these very large molars in 1935. And because it was 1935 and world events were about to occur, aka he was about to be put in an internment camp by the Japanese Imperial Army, he took these molars. He would eventually describe them in 1956, but he took these molars, put them in a milk bottle, and he buried them in his friend's backyard until he got out of internment to eventually then later describe them.
That is actually more common than you would think would happen with hominid remains from that time.
Especially, yeah, well, I'm sure it is. And I'm sure there's many stories about bullshit like that happening with World War II. Rest in peace, my boy, that Spinosaurus.
Yeah, that might be my next episode, actually.
It's okay, man. It's going to be okay.
And then, right.
So Gigantopithecus and Blackie is in honor of a recently deceased Canadian paleoanthropologist, Davidson Black. Recently deceased as in the time of discovery. He died in 1934, I think. And the teeth were in 1935. Which is cool. And a fun connection. And now Gigantopithecus is essentially an orangutan that ate a Mario mushroom and got a little bigger. It's like if you've ever watched one of the two, I can't remember which, live action Jungle Book movies that came out a couple years back.
The Disney remake.
One of these guys was in it. Yeah, the Disney one.
He's King Louie.
Because there was the other one as well. Yeah, it was King Louie, dog.
Yeah,
it's
the Disney one you're talking about, voiced by Christopher Walken.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Christopher Walken here.
But yeah, it's here.
So he often comes up and it's like, oh, but what if Gigantopithecus is still alive? He could be the answer for all our Bigfoot. It's like, no, he's like a fucking orangutan. He probably would not walk upright. Like, it's not. And it's ridiculous. And then as a fun additional extra, to show the absolute range and wonders of hominid evolution, Homo floresiensis. On the island of Flores, this human was there approximately 1.27 to 1 million years ago, and this person's one of two things, generally agreed upon to either be a Javanese Homo erectus that reduced their body size due to insular dwarfism, or another migration of a small Australopithecus or Homo habilis sort of hominid that migrated out of Africa.
It's most likely the first.
I mean, yeah, that makes the most sense, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it'd be crazy to have the small guy run across the world rather than the big guy go and then just get smaller to this very common biological, process, phenomenon, that we've observed many times.
Insular dwarfism is an episode I want to do.
You gotta do insular gigantism as well.
I will.
Hell yeah. Big tortoise. They had what was I thinking about on the other slide? Oh, I know what I was thinking of. I'll tell you about it when we get to it. But they had a Galapagos tortoise, like a central Galapagos tortoise breed the other week at a zoo I forget the name of, which is great because that species is going extinct. Yeah,
I did not know that.
She laid eggs. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then so Homo floresiensis. This is like, I don't know. They're all like 4 feet tall-ish.
Around there.
Like it's an entire, and they found, as my understanding, multiple fossils. I don't think anything complete, obviously, given this, but
multiple individuals.
Yes, multiple individuals. That's the right term. Thank you, science guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill Nye.
No problem.
Yeah. So that's all for this. And the reason I bring them in is because Floresiensis and Gigantopithecus commonly come up in discussions of Bigfoot because you're like, oh, but all these cool ancient hominins, well, they're extinct. We don't see them in the wild anymore. It's just a fact. But yes, so now that Bigfoot's out of the way, let's get to the ones where they only need one slide. Next slide, please.
I want to say something about back on the previous slide. I used to read books about cryptids as a kid. And the word Yowie, as soon as, that brought back so many memories of reading about the Yowie and the skunk ape as a kid. I just want to make that known.
That's real. That's real.
I forgot they existed until now.
Yeah, they're special little guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so British big cats. We had this one on the list, and I took it because I knew what it was. Do you guys have any idea what this is?
No.
It's referring to like escaped lions or something, isn't it? That had a breeding
Pretty
population?
much. No. Okay, so
I don't know much
the
about
main
it.
the main cryptid conspiracy theory does boil down to a loose breeding population of some big cat on the island of Britain, right? On Britain, the island.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we're all clear here, Britain is the island. Great Britain and Northern Ireland is the collection of 4 countries of England and Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland, and the British Isles are Britain and Ireland. Are we all clear on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. So in 1976, the British government passed the Dangerous Wild Animals Act, which was regulating the possession of exotic pets on the Isle of Britain. After this, and also prior to this, in a few isolated incidents, because I basically copy and pasted every incident that was on the Wikipedia page, because they were all just so fascinatingly sad that I think reading them out will make us hate humanity a little more together. But there are... Okay, just to be clear and put it up front, there is only one wild cat that lives on Britain, and it's this guy on the right. This is Felis sylvestris sylvestris, which is a wild cat from Europe, a European wild cat with like a subspecies group on Britain that has like some characteristics of insular dwarfism and came across at some point from, or maybe even was separated when Doggerland was flooded during the last like the end of the last ice age, probably. I don't know. I'm theorizing here. I'm spitballing, you know. Okay, so
I want to pet this guy. He looks so cute.
Fluffy.
European wildcat, very likely contender for like domesticated short hair, right? This is probably like like a relative, right? This is probably the cat that we know of as cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think you'll find my cat's name is Jack. But
now this cryptid's a little different. Now again, the cryptid is a released breeding population, not real. Big cats cannot survive on Britain. It's too fucking populated. They will be killed by some farmer out there. And like this is the biggest cat that Britain can sustain naturally, right? Is this house cat essentially. So that's the cryptid myth debunk. However, there have been multiple incidents of big cats loose on the island. In 1903, a Canadian lynx was shot in Devon, in Devonshire, as in the collection of the Bristol Museum, and analysis of its teeth suggested that prior to its death, it spent a significant amount of time in captivity. This is going to be a common theme. All of these animals, none are wild animals. They have all been either escaped or were released from captivity. You'll see after 1976, now we get into the 1980s, a puma was captured in Inverness-shire up in Scotland, and it was put in the Highland Wildlife Park Zoo. It was given the name Felicity. The zoo director, named Eddie Orble, said that the animal had been tamed and had not been released long because it enjoyed being tickled. Right? This is some rich asshole who just let their fucking puma out.
This Garfield motherfucker.
Oh, to be a rich
exactly.
guy with a menagerie.
Yeah, right? On 2 separate occasions, not particularly listed on the Wikipedia, jungle cats were found dead after being hit by a car. Theory being they had been escaped, right? In 1996, police in Fintona, County Tyrone in Northern Ireland shot a cat. It was reportedly a carcal, which is a the medium-sized wild cat from Northern Africa. And so that's that one. There's like the department in 2006, the Department of Environment and Food Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs revealed that they had a list of known escaped cats. Because it got to that much of a problem that an entire department, the Department of essentially Agriculture, had to like say, okay, so we got this list of cats. We know they're out there. Most of them have been recaptured or probably perished. And the most recent one, in January of this year, January 9th, 2025, up in Scotland, there were 2 lynx captured. Again, put in the Highland Wildlife Park Zoo, plans to transfer them to Edinburgh. They were believed to have been illegally released given their tameness and bedding found in a lay-by. And then they found 2 more lynx in the same area the following day. A guy with 4 Canadian lynx just chilling that he left out.
Those are ours.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, too. This is the decay of empire. This is the imperial core. They can't afford to keep their wildcats anymore, so they're just letting them go. It is what it is, right? These are animals from all over the world because you want a big cat to keep, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is, in my opinion, the most boring one because it's got the least concluding story. Is what I would have said, except for next slide, please.
What a plot twist! Right at the right.
Oh, you had me at the first half. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Next was hell yeah, the Stellar Sea Ape. I didn't know what. Okay, I had a bad idea of what this was. Turns out, German scientists don't know what animals are. I have written down in my notes, German man rolls worst animal description ever, asked to learn about pinnipeds. So on the right here is George Steller. You may know him from such famous things as Connor mentioned in the pre-pod chat. The Stellar sea cow, of which we have a skeleton on the bottom. The Stellar sea cow being an extinct sirenian related to manatees and dugongs and etc. that used to live up near Alaska. Very large animal. Hunted to extinction is, I think, the general conclusion there, is no longer alive. He is also not pictured. You may have heard of the Stellar sea lion. He also is the namesake for the Stellar sea lion. And he essentially was out one day and was in some kind of boat, chilling. Went out of the water, pops an animal he had never seen before. Right, it was covered in fur. It was swimming in a very weird way with its upper, its forelimbs tucked in, and with mostly its back limbs. It had almost like a Fu Manchu mustache, beady eyes. It was very playful. It managed to get the upper 2/3 of its body out of the water. It was playing with seaweed, and I mean, yeah, dog. It was a fucking fur seal. That's why I have a fur seal picture. It's from the Wikipedia.
I thought you were saying
of course, it was a fucking northern fur seal.
That's where it was going.
It was a northern fur seal. Of course, it was a northern fur seal. So this guy just didn't know. He somehow figured out what a sea lion was, but not a fur seal. But I guess it's fine. Whatever. But still, this spurred a whole bunch of shit because people were bad at communicating. And whenever he found it, I didn't write it down. I think it was the 1700s. You'll see in the top left the image of Simia marina, which was the name given to this fucked up animal that he started describing. And you can see just the absolute horrific scientific drawings, which look like the combined... I can't forget. What's that other cartilaginous fish that isn't a shark or a ray?
Batfish?
Yeah. The ones... they're not dogfish. I don't remember. It'll come to me. But they look like that, and they're fucked up.
I can see it at my mind's eye.
More like the one on the top. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
What the fuck is the name of it? I can see it in my mind palace. Give me a second.
He's exploring. He's knocking on doors.
Cartilaginous fish. I know what chondrichthyes are. You don't have to explain that to me. No, this is all sharks. No, I need holocephalans. What are...
He's not Googling this inside of his mind palace.
Chimeras, yeah,
That's
thank you.
Yes.
My god. Did I tell you that... Okay, so you know that my parents go on a fishing trip to the West Coast every year, essentially, right?
I did not, but Go on.
Okay, so they go on a fishing trip to the West Coast every year. Last 2 years, this year and the year prior, they haven't gone with me because obviously my previous work kind of interfered with making that reliable. The year prior to this, they saw orcas, which I was very jealous of.
That's
they
awesome.
didn't see any orcas this year, but they did pull up a fucking chimera, and I was very jealous of that. Yeah, they pulled one out because they're fishing. They're bottom fishing for halibut most of the time.
Oh, okay,
so,
that would make sense.
So they pulled up a fucking chimera.
That's crazy.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we pulled up this weird fish. I'm like, whoa, that's awesome.
Aww.
That's insane.
I was very jealous.
Yeah.
I would be too.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very, 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 very cool fish. Very weird looking fish.
They're so weird. I've seen their skeleton
sometime
before. It's really cool.
Yeah. So the conclusion of this slide. Yeah, the conclusion of this slide is that some people aren't good enough to be scientists. They're just morons and bad at describing things.
Me too.
Yeah.
And they're all German. No.
Me too.
Shout out to don't we have like 2 German listeners? Didn't we learn that before the pod?
There's probably like 1 or 2 people in Germany that listen to us, at least on Spotify.
All right, well they're gone. But so when I picked this from the draft, I thought it was something completely different. Next slide, please. Are you guys ready to learn about mermaids the body found?
Yeah,
Ray,
I
do you
don't
know what this is? Ray, have you heard of this before?
Yes, I have.
You have? Have you actually watched it?
No, I haven't. I'm too scared.
Oh my god. Okay, so
this looks like Avatar.
in 2012.
It does.
It
it's
does.
Really freaky.
It's so bad. Do you like how I included the Life Could Be Dream swimming ape in the middle just for
Life
fun?
could be a dream.
Are these the same program? This is
Yes.
Animal Planet. This is Discovery because they have the same stock
Okay,
image on
so
the
yes.
top.
Yes, it's 2012. Animal Planet, and then
Dear
like a
Lord.
month later, Discovery Channel put this documentary, heavy fucking quotes on documentary, on their main fucking channel. All right, okay. So this is a again heavy quotes documentary that I have for you here tonight. Hold on, it's in link for stuff. I'm posting the link. You have to watch it after the podcast.
Putting it on and I'm playing it in the side window like I do with the
That's
Heritage
fucked up.
Minutes.
That's fucked up.
I thought you said you
It's an
watched it on your
hour.
phone.
It's an hour and 20 minutes. Okay,
Yeah, I do on my phone for the Heritage
this
Minutes.
documentary, again, heavy quotes, documentary, was put on Animal Planet Discovery Channel in 2012, and it goes over this thing called the aquatic ape hypothesis, which is an idea of what if an ancient hominid evolved in a similar way to ancient cetaceans to go back into and live in the water. And that's how, like, a scientific idea for making mermaids a real thing. And then the following year, in 2013, they made a sequel called Mermaids: The New Evidence, where they did a heavy quotes documentary, where they had like, they went down in like a fucking like a bathysphere to some very deep corner of the ocean. So they go over this whole shit. They cut in all these scientists, and they don't fucking tell you it's fake. It's hilarious. I have in brackets
Gaslit a
here,
whole
to be
population
fair,
of
how
people.
many severely neurodivergent children could possibly be watching either of these channels, Discovery or Animal Planet, on a regular basis. I know no one like this. It's me, especially at that time. I watched this shit. I watched this shit live on television. I either watched it when it came out or had that shit recorded. It came out in like the summer, so I probably watched it that summer in 2012 or 2013. And I thought about it all the time because I thought this shit was real because I was fucking 12. And I have the worst fucking news to tell you about this is that it was a fucking hit. This shit got this was the highest rated fucking Discovery Channel or Animal Planet program since Steve Irwin's memorial special edition special episode in 2006. This was the highest rated shit they ever had, and this is why everything is wrong with the world. I think everything is hinged on the pendulum of Mermaids the Body Found, and I have names to read out: Charlie Foley and Vabiv Bhatt, the director and writers, and Darlo Smithson and Tom Brisley, the producers.
Oh my god.
Okay, don't say that because that's actionable. But yeah, so we'll watch this all together and talk about it more in depth later. But holy shit, this fucking shit really grinds my gears.
I've never heard of this.
I can't believe you've never heard of this before.
I was never really
that blows my mind.
Kid.
How were you surprised that I knew of it, and then you were surprised that Connor didn't?
Because like, I don't know, Ray. Did you watch Discovery Channel Animal Planet growing up?
Not a lot. Like sometimes.
See, I was on there every day because I'm like, it's fucking MythBusters time. We're gonna watch them how it's made. This is what I was made for.
I actually did. I watched a lot of How It's Made. I do love How It's Made.
I had really limited channels as a kid, and also my parents wouldn't let me just aimlessly watch TV. Was it because you were
poor?
Partially, and then when I did get real channels, my parents didn't really just like let me aimlessly watch TV. There was like 3 channels I was allowed to watch.
They could have let you learn so many good things, like mermaids, the body found. You know what? Your parents were right. But yeah, How It's Made is great. Really quick before we move on,
I wasn't actually poor. That was a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. We'll take this tangent even further. Ray, have you watched the guy on YouTube who dubs over the How It's Made episodes with just bullshit?
Numinos, what the fuck? That guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I watch him sometimes. I just kind of,
How It's Made.
Okay, that's all we
awesome.
have.
Both the parody and
it's a great show.
Love that show. Watch it with my. I used to watch it with my dad.
We didn't really talk about mermaids, but mermaids.
I feel mermaids fall out of the normal cryptid sphere. I think we had this discussion.
Legendary. I feel like
I think we did because they're more like mythos, which like fantasy creatures, like
okay,
like
so
there are cryptids.
Okay, I get it. 18th century is long enough back to be mythological, right?
Yeah.
Like you heard about mermaids and crap. Okay, no, we're moving on. Next slide, please. Next slide.
We'll talk about mermaids again. We might do another cryptids episode.
Yeah.
Anyway,
here's some just total absolute bullshit.
Is this JoJo?
These are panels from JoJo because they are referenced in JoJo in part 6. When I learned that this was like something real, when I saw this shit in the cryptid draft, I'm like, I thought Araki, the fucking mangaka for JoJo, made this shit up. I couldn't believe it was a real fucking thing. It's so stupid. So, as you can see on the right, I want you to examine the photo of the rods on the right and see if you notice anything. Okay? What do you notice about these rods?
Looks like algae. I have no idea what the rods are.
On the right?
This one? It looks kind of like, microscopic algae.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of weird light here. I have no idea what this is.
So, I want, for the record, listeners, in the notes here, I have the image is kind of cool, but how could anyone possibly use a camera and not understands how it works? Brackets, I know no one like this. These are motion blurred moths, dude. This is like light and moths that are motion blurred.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, I see it.
I can see.
So yeah, I have a great.
Don't make fun of me. I'm trying to learn how to use my camera.
It's motion blur, dog.
Hey, I didn't know.
But yes, I mean, yeah, that's whatever. But yes, misunderstanding makes man mystify mild moth motion, and the man's name is Robert Todd Carroll. It was like 2003, and he took a photo like this. It was like, holy shit, I'm discovering new stuff. And you can see, like, Araki dedicates a whole fucking page or two to the goddamn anatomy of this fucking cryptid that, like, brand fucking new. And it's so much more information than anyone has ever put into this. Like, this one fucking mangaka for this, like, very popular manga series and anime. Part 7's real. I'm so excited for Steel Ball Run. But he's put more fucking into this shit than any other source for the rods, and that's why you kind of have to have it. But yes, this is just ridiculous. This is just stupid. There's nothing here. This is like this is your 21st century cryptid. It's not. It's nothing. This is the extent of it. Like, it was that easy to research. Like, the Wikipedia is like a paragraph.
The most I've heard about this is when we did the draft, and I didn't look into it. Yeah, we referenced a
because
draft
why would you?
before, listeners. We literally drafted who's doing what cryptid like a fantasy football league.
We literally like one by one. We're like, okay, Connor go, Ethan go, Ray go, Connor go, Ethan go, Ray go. In terms of picking which ones we wanted to do. Was this on our list? I don't remember.
This was on the list.
It was on the list, and I remember not knowing what it was, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
This is all it is.
Did you put it on the list? Is that why you?
I saw it and I was like, okay, I want to do this. This is going on the list because I knew it from JoJo's, and I couldn't believe it was fucking real. And someone actually tried to make it real. It's not. It's blur from a digital camera. And my final cryptid is kind of a big grouping. So. This is something called fearsome critters.
They're really
Fearsome Critters and the Lumberwoods with a Few Desert and Mountain Beasts was a book by William T. Cox, published in 1910. It's a collection
Cox.
All a whole bunch of animals and made-up bullshit from lumberjack camps in the early 20th century, in generally the western, like northern Ontario kind of region, right? This is good Canada stuff right here, and also like BC, the backwoods, so like if you were in the woods and you were just chopping up the forest all day and you had nothing better to do, I would also make up some random bullshit to scare a new guy around the campfire at night, because of course you would. What else is there to do? You're in the middle of nowhere. You don't have like a fucking following camp that you can go spend your money on. You're in the fucking backwoods, all right? People are going missing because they die to like a deadfall or a bear every other week. You got to make up some bullshit to like have some fun, right? So pictured, we have this is where you get the origins of, and you can see especially in the first two top left images, the extent to which taxidermy plays a role, like fucked up taxidermy plays a role in making these legends, with a jackalope and a fur-bearing trout, which is able to live in very cold water, you see.
I love that it says very rare underneath. Yeah,
very rare. And so the one on the very right is an artist's depiction of a side-hill gouger, an animal with one set of legs shorter than the other, so it can only walk on a very steep hill and around the hill, circular forever. And that's how it is, man. It's very scary. Don't go near it. Down in the bottom left is you can see these illustrations are, I think, from books like Fearsome Creatures or similar to it, because they're all very similar. We got the Hoogag, which is a moose-like creature with a very long snout that it uses to move through the foliage with very stiff legs, so it's always, hungry because it can't reach anything it's supposed to eat on the ground. You can see next to it the loop snake, or hoop snake, I think here. A snake, an Ouroboros that just kind of rolls around like a wheel, very scary. And then we got the real one that's actually like a fucking, like, nightmare fuel, the hide behind.
That one's in Gravity Falls.
It is, isn't it? Fuck. Yeah, it's an animal. It's hiding. It can jump between any tree, and it will come and get you and fucking kill you. And I don't know why they depicted it like a black dog. I think this got some black dog mythology. Like, we love the ominous big black hairy dog, which is probably very fun and happy, actually.
That was my nickname back in college.
Black dog?
Never mind.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Besides,
you want to explain why you got that?
No.
Besides these horrifying creatures, there are also such monstrosities as the Goofus bird, or the squonk.
That was also my nickname.
Horrifying.
That squonk. Okay.
Also mentioned in the list of fearsome creatures is Bigfoot and the Jersey Devil. Which will be coming up soon.
Is it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Devil.
I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't look at the draft.
But yeah, you fuck around, you have fun in the woods, you just lie for fun. You really think people would do that? Lie for fun? People were lying for fun even before the internet existed, folks. What can I say? This is what we like to see.
Mansplain.
Lying for fun. It's what we like. Okay. And yeah, that's Fearsome Critters. There is a whole list in the book of like made up bullshit, but I only picked a select few because we only got so much time, and my time is now being given to the next presenter, Connor.
Me.
Yeah.
We will continue on. Let me lock in here. I thought we had another slide to go
Cracks
here.
You can
every
hear
knuckle in
the creaking of his old
That's
ass fucking
my
chair.
chair. And hang on, let me put down 2005 Cybertron evac that I was transforming. Hang on, I gotta move my slides around. I thought we had another. I thought there was another slide to go. Hang on. Okay. We'll continue on with a classic, the Loch Ness Monster. Everybody's pretty familiar with this one. It is famously a long-necked creature, very plesiosaur-like, often described with a large hump or potentially two humps, and is potentially a living plesiosaur, which, for those who don't know, it's always that weird noodle-necked thingy in the background of any drawing of a dinosaur. They are not dinosaurs. But they were alive during the Mesozoic. They showed up end of the Triassic, sort of, and then were quite popular, or quite common during the Jurassic, and went extinct at the very end of the Cretaceous, along with dinosaurs and mosasaurs and ammonites and all those others.
All right, don't cry.
Oh, never forget. In the arms of the angels.
Oh no, never. I don't know if I've ever heard Connor sing before.
That's
I never
the
thought that my
closest
ears.
I can ever get.
You should sing more often.
No.
That was awful. You should do it more often.
So this is, of
I
course,
implore you.
in the Loch Ness in Scotland, and also a little bit in the River Ness, which is, it goes from the ocean into the Loch Ness itself. The Loch Ness is a large freshwater lake. Throughout the years, there have been 1,163 total recorded sightings, according to LochNessSightings.com. I am not going through all of these. We will be here all day.
Thank you.
But you can go through that website and just read all of the reports. A lot of them are just like, this guy reportedly saw it at this time. But a lot of them do go in more detail. But look, we're going to be here all day. This is going to be a long episode as is. The earliest known report appears in The Life of St. Columba by Adoniman, which was written in the 7th century AD, so a while after this actually happened. Apparently, St. Columba saw people burying someone off the River Ness who was reportedly attacked by a water beast, and those people were like, don't go in the water, there's a monster. Later, his friend went into the water, and then he saw the beast, made the sign of a cross, told it to fuck off, and then it left. That's really
all you need
it.
to do.
Yeah.
What can I say? God is great. Everyone's favorite cryptid? God.
Yeah.
That's proof right
It
there.
was not referred to as the Loch Ness Monster here, but it is kind of the earliest sort of report of it. Like written down reports. Sightings would go on, continue a few times during the 1800s, but there's a renewed interest in this in the early 1900s. But there are lots of local accounts and oral traditions throughout hundreds of years which refer to a beast in the Loch Ness. 1933 brings us kind of three main reports which kind of really brought it into public consciousness. Aldie McKay reportedly saw a massive creature with the body of a whale. Her and her husband were driving by, saw it for a few seconds in the water, and then it disappeared into the depths. George Spicer reportedly saw a massive creature with no limbs and a long neck, which he described as a plesiosaur. This was later verified to be fake, and he made it up, and was probably inspired by King Kong, which was around the same time as this.
Lying for fun, folks.
There's
They
a
had
lot of
nothing
this.
better to do.
I tried
All
not
they
to
had
put
nothing better to
a lot
do.
of those in here.
Even before the internet, people did it all the time. Lie for fun.
It's just funny.
And sometimes profit.
Yeah.
It is pretty funny.
I tried not to put the ones that were just that later, like he came out and said like this is wrong, but
Actually, I didn't
There's
say
quite a
that.
few of those. And then Hugh Gray allegedly took the first photo of the creature. That's this one here. It has never been truly verified what it really is.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Probably a dog or
like
an otter.
I thought you were going to show me, like, the photo. But no, you could show me this yeah, that one. But no, it's just it's nothing. It's the most motion blur bullshit. Like, we just look at digital motion blur. Welcome film motion blur.
Yeah, this is analog film blur.
That's, oh my god.
It's probably just an otter or his dog in the water.
His own dog.
That's what most people
like, wow, this photo's fucked
Go in there, Sparky.
But really, like,
this
could be fucking anything.
For this film back. Oh my god.
Yeah, these are kind of what most depictions of it are. They don't. Some depictions make it look more like real plesiosaurs than others. This is not really what plesiosaurs look like, but that same sort of body shape with a big body and then a big head and then flippers under the water. 1934 brings us the surgeon's photograph. That's this one that Ethan mentioned. This is the famous one that really catapulted Nessie into the public consciousness. This was taken by one Dr. Robert Kenneth Wilson. By the way, I'm extremely paraphrasing all of these, otherwise we're going to be here all day. Nessie could be an entire episode on its own.
Nessie, it's Nessie, dog.
There is so much information on this. And
Poster boy fucking cryptid.
I should have, with more time.
Loch Ness monster.
With more time,
that's a Twilight reference for anyone.
should have brought like books out on some of this stuff, but I didn't. So this is most of my info for all of this stuff is from like just whatever I could find, mostly Wikipedia. We take our research seriously. Anyway, so Dr. Robert Kenneth Wilson allegedly saw this creature and was able to take a picture. It's likely fake. It seemed to be made of a toy submarine with a wooden neck attached. But this is the image responsible for making it famous. This is the image in all the headlines, on every cryptid page, in every book and newspaper. It's
almost 100 years old.
It's almost 100-year-old photo.
Oh my god.
I'm skipping a lot of sightings, of course. But we're I just picked some ones that are interesting. 1954 brought us that says 1957. It is actually 1954. Sonar readings off a fishing boat called the Rival 3 detected an object keeping pace with them at 146 meters depth. This was never verified or confirmed what it was. If it was real, they may have made it up. 1972. This is sourced mainly from
fun.
This is sourced mainly from a website called Tetsu. We'll come back to him later. This was done. This is these pictures here. This was taken by the Loch Ness Phenomenon Investigation Bureau, the U.S.-based Academy of Applied Science, and inventor Robert Rines. These two organizations and this guy, who was probably severely underqualified, but he said he was qualified, teamed up to try and take a picture of the animal. So what they did was they took a 16mm time-lapse camera and a 50-watt strobe light, and then they went on the water. They basically suspended it between two boats, dumped it into the water, and it would take a photo at about every 45 seconds at a depth of 13 meters pointed down. There's also sonar attached to it. Seemingly, they detected several large animals, and 2,000 photos were obtained. The clearest image, there's a few images which maybe show the animal. This is that they don't really look like anything. But the famous one is these ones. This one especially, which displays a large diamond-shaped flipper. This garnered a ton of attention at the time, and the animal was named Nessiteris. This led to a lot of debate about how this flipper would possibly work, because this is not really how flippers of any animal, alive or dead, works. That they do not look like this. And this is not a very efficient shape for an animal under the water. What turns out happened, this is the original image. The images were digitized. Keep in mind, this is 1972, so it doesn't do it very well. And it showed this sort of rough diamond shape. There's an image in between, which you can kind of see it. And then this image here was enhanced by hand to make it look like a flipper. The early computer digitization roughly outlined a kind of a diamond shaped here, which you can't even really see on the original image. And then some guy with a paintbrush basically drew this on it. It doesn't appear like this is actually like a hoax image. They were honestly thinking this was right. They were just wrong and just wishful thinking. A lot of times in science, when you're looking for something and you think you maybe found it, you're willing to ignore a lot of issues. That's a whole episode for a different time, especially in paleontology. This is probably just a scrape in the mud. The other images that they took on this expedition are quite similar, but less distinctive even. 1987, Operation Deep Scan. 24 boats went out and sent acoustic waves into the lake. They detected a large unidentified object at the bottom of the lake, and some motion was detected. It was probably seals. There's a quote from one of the guys running it. There's something here that we don't understand, and there's something here that's larger than a fish. Maybe some species that hasn't been detected before. I don't know. 2011, George Edwards. This guy loved hunting for Nessie, and he had a boat that he would take tourists out on. Supposedly, he took a photo, just a photo described as a kind of manatee, but not a mammal. That's this photo here. It's likely fake. This is all he took. It's just a bump in the water. This could be a piece of driftwood or something. Reports go all the way up into 2021. Drone footage captured an image off the shore on a live stream. So this is the zoomed out image. Here it is. This is kind of a zoomed in one. So you can see there's its neck, there's the body. You can see a couple flippers coming out. This is probably digitally altered, it's a toy. And they spliced it in. Nessie does not move in the video.
Isn't there like a known sunken statue of a plesiosaur in Loch Ness?
Not as far as I know. There are statues of plesiosaurs in the area, but I don't know if any of them are buried.
Are you gonna get into probable
causes?
Okay, thank you.
Honestly, it's probably mostly people seeking attention. That's going to be, I'm sure, a trend with all of these. People want to be the guy who found Nessie or the guy who found Bigfoot. And a lot of these accounts were verified to be fake later. Like I said, driftwood probably accounts for like half of these. Something it also could be is seismic gas leaking through a fault, which kind of looks like there's something in the water, especially if you're on a boat looking down. Be like, there's something following us. What is this?
Which, I mean, Loch Ness is essentially just a fault.
Pretty much, yeah. It's
you can't get something.
Scotland in general is basically one entire fault line.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But they're possibly also seeing other animals in there. European eels, Anguilla anguilla, is the only animal I'm about to mention that is verified to 100% live in this lake. DNA evidence indicates that there is a shit ton of them in here. They can typically get to around 4 feet long or so, but they can get bigger. So possibly someone saw it in the water. We're like, there's something weird, like some noodly looking thing under there. That's Nessie. But potentially, maybe it could also be Greenland sharks, large catfish, or seals.
There it is. Yeah, I was going to mention Greenland sharks. That's my favorite one, especially with the image on the previous slide of the big lump in the lake.
Yeah, they just kind of look like that. I should have put a picture of a Greenland shark. Maybe I'll put one in the video.
That's okay.
Keep in mind this.
People would just be sad about them being 500 years old and blind.
This is a freshwater. Greenland sharks are saltwater sharks, and this is a freshwater lake. But there is apparently evidence that they can last in fresh water for a little bit, so they could just come down the river.
I mean, that's sort of a metabolism.
Yeah, exactly. You want. And I believe seals maybe have been spotted in here. Something it also could be, I didn't put a picture in this, but you can Google it, is a whale's penis. So I don't. So sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
I didn't put a picture of this out, but you can Google it. It won't be in the video.
You're a coward.
I can't put that in the video.
Dick on the screen.
Why not?
Yes, you can. It's educational.
So
Whatever.
Sometimes whales flip on their back and their cock and balls are hanging out, and it just pokes out of the water.
It's kind of just cock.
And it looks like
it looks like
a hump with a thing coming out of it. So potentially it was inspired by a whale that got into Loch Ness.
People seeing whale dick.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bro, the whale in the Loch Ness.
I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding me about the whale dick, dude. I love the whale dick theory.
I know I couldn't find any sources on this last one, but
you can cut that to make me say I love the whale.
That'll be the cut. That'll be the clip. It'll just be you saying I love the whale dick, and that's it.
I love whale dick.
Yeah, you have us all saying that. Fantastic.
Something that this is not 100% verified, and I don't know if anybody's really thrown out this idea too much. At least not that I found, but I didn't really look for it. In Scotland, and especially in England, which is obviously right next to it, you can find a shit ton of late Jurassic marine fossils. Mary Anning, off the shores of Dorset, is famous for finding these.
Which, just to be clear, is approximately the opposite side of the island.
Yeah, no. It's not literally right here, but like that. But you can find stuff like that in Scotland, in parts of it. And those include plesiosaurs. So potentially people found those skeletons and that maybe could have inspired this. I don't know how verified that is, but I would be shocked if it didn't play any influence at all. And finally, is it still around? Yeah, but it's mostly pop culture. But there are still sightings reported. Like I said, there's that drone sighting from only a couple of years ago. On a related note, the Ogopogo. This was only going to be like one slide, and then I started looking into it and realized, oh, this is like a real thing. So I had to talk about it more, which is why I finished this at 6 o'clock today, and it's 8:30. We started at 7. So what this is, Ogopogo is a large serpent-like creature, usually described to be around 30 feet in length, long body with an undulating shape. Sometimes it has a forked tail and a goat-like or horse-like head, and is found in Okanagan Lake, BC. There are over 200 recorded sightings of the animal, but there are, First Nations groups in the area have had stories of a supernatural entity in the lake forever. So they have always thought that there is something in the lake, and I should have written more about that, but I didn't. Out of verified written down accounts, 1872, Susan Allison is the first recorded sighting of it. And she described a snake-like creature very similar to the native legends. You're really adding a lot, you're really adding a lot, Ray. You're keeping the team together.
Shut up and keep going.
1926, 30 cars of people apparently all saw something swimming in the ocean. 1947, a number of boaters also saw the same thing at the same time. They described it as a long, sinuous body, 30 feet in length, with an undulating shape. 1959, Mr. and Mrs. R.H. Miller and Mr. and Mrs. Pat Martin saw a large creature with a snake-like head and blunt nose swimming behind their boat. It followed for a few minutes.
I feel like it's actually Mr. and Mrs. Miller and Mr. and Mrs. Martin, but
I don't know. I ripped that out of Wikipedia. 1989.
Very misogynistic
Ernie
way of
Guiraud
listing a name,
and his
but
wife.
Whatever.
It really is.
There are 2 sightings in 1989. First one, Ernie Guiraud and his wife. They saw a 15-foot-long animal emerge from the water before swimming off. Followed by Ken Chaplin and his father Clem Chaplin. They took a video. I could not find the video, but I could find this screenshot of the video. They described it as a slim, serpent-like creature that slapped the water with its tail. This is probably a beaver.
Hot.
This is a picture of a beaver sticking his tail out of the water. I've seen beavers do this. I would be shocked if this is not.
Yeah, you've seen Ogopogo, folks.
I've seen beavers do this in real. I can put a picture up of a picture I took of a beaver.
Yeah, you've seen a beaver do this. It's Ogopogo.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I saw it in Edmonton, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
I have been
to
the Okanagan, but
he crossed the Continental Divide.
Probable causes. Probably other animals. Otters really like to swim in a line, so they potentially could have seen them in a line, possibly bobbing up and down, describing an undulating shape like that. But also waterspouts can happen in there, which would maybe could explain where a lot of the First Nations accounts come from. If you see something like that on the lake, be like, wow, there's something fucking crazy going on over there. But
That's awesome that they can get a water spout. That's a really cool photo.
It's very cool.
Is it still around? Yeah, but it's mostly for tourism now. But there are sightings reported into 2024. This is a playground which is nearby the lake. I have been here. I saw this picture and that brought back a lot of memories. I was very little, but I remember this playground.
What other... There's other, like, river monsters around the world, like, shout out Champy, the Lake Champlain monster.
Oh, yeah, we could do an episode just on lake monsters and river monsters.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this last
We're bringing on Jeremy Wade, and we're talking about river monsters, baby.
I'd love to talk about some fucked up fish.
So would I.
Sea monster done.
Mokele Membe.
New sea monster just dropped.
Babe, wake up, new sea monster. So what?
That
I'm
looks
probably
like a very real
mispronouncing
picture.
Mokele Membe. Yeah, this image was so
I think
funny.
you got it pretty good.
So what is it? So it's described often as a sauropod or sauropod-like animal, a surviving non-avian dinosaur. It's mostly known from the Congo, but also a few other countries in Central Africa, sometimes by different names. A lot of times the sightings are from Cameroon. So there are lots of local accounts, but people around the area have had reports of large creatures forever, but nothing was really super written down, and I couldn't find a lot of them. But when Europeans started showing up to the area, they also began reporting this. 1913, which was largely reported in a 1941 book called The Lungfish and the Unicorn. That's a translated title. The original book, his title is in German. I'm not going to attempt this name. We're just going to call him Captain Ludwig. He was a German officer leading an expedition. Sure.
I don't know. I tried.
Best Mario Kart character.
A+ for effort.
That's not Waluigi. I won't play Mario Kart if I can't be Waluigi. So he was a German officer leading an expedition into what is now the Republic of Congo.
Of conversation.
I tried to combine the word survey and Congo. They were doing a survey, just because this was in 1913, pre-World War I. Guys were just being dudes out in the jungle, sending out expeditions, just looking for cool shit.
What's better than this?
What's better than this? Guys being dudes, going to some foreign country, disregarding the locals, wearing your classic pith helmet.
All right, guys, come on, hop on the boat. We're gonna do Heart of Darkness,
Exactly.
guys. That always ended up good.
Nothing bad happened for anyone. Just guys being dudes.
Everything bad happened.
Yeah, this is a joke. So he heard stories from local peoples about a huge reptile in the jungles, described as elephant-sized, with brownish-gray color, a long neck, and potentially a horn, as well as a long tail like an alligator. Supposedly, on some of his descriptions, he describes it like, I know you're not going to believe me, but I heard about this thing from a bunch of people. But he also maybe thought it was just folklore. There's a little bit of contention. This led to, when this was published, led to a lot of increased interest, and a lot of people went to find it. There were many expeditions, but most of them didn't really find a lot of evidence, but a lot of times they would come back saying that the locals were wary of something out in the jungle. And this is also around the same time as dinosaurs were becoming popular in the West. Like that classic image of like a brontosaurus in the lake is around this time. When that was kind of the depiction of dinosaurs, and that was really blowing up. 1959, Waldfried Ted Roth, the former curator of the Smithsonian National Zoological Park and an unnamed member of Ivan T. Sanderson's Society for the Investigation of the Explained. They received a sighting of a report in Benin, and they went out to look. No specimen was found, but the guides reportedly would not cross a swamp, as there were water elephants on the other side, supposedly. They said it had a long neck, large paddle-like forelimbs, a small head, and a long whip-like tail. It was vegetarian, but it would trample them if they went close, and they wouldn't go farther. 1980, James Powell and Roy P. Mackle. They went to the Congo to look as well. Apparently the locals were familiar, and they were afraid. Large clawed tracks were reported, and they believed that the animals were real. These guys were held back by visas a lot. They were on pretty limited time limits. But they led several expeditions over the years, but nothing concrete was found. And a few other expeditions were led throughout the 80s by some other people, but they never really found anything. Just a ton of local accounts, which were probably referring to rhinos. Black rhinos especially used to be quite common in the area. And a lot of the stories the tail does not add up, I'll admit. But the body shape that's often described, as well as the color and the horn, it's a rhino, right? This is a depiction from like local peoples. This is a pictograph.
On the right, or
this one here? No, not this. Yeah, this is a real picture, which might be AI generated.
It kind of.
Now that I'm looking at it all blown up, it might be AI generated. I hope it's not.
No, it's got like a copyright watermark on the bottom there.
Oh, you're right. Joshua Dunlap. So that probably isn't AI.
Joshua Dunlap isn't the name of an AI, as far as I know.
Grok generate.
I think this is a good old fashioned man-made Photoshop right here.
Mm-hmm. I hope you're right.
That's good stuff. Good
Good shit. We love it. You'll love to see it.
I don't listen. Those AI freaks that use that stuff. I'm telling you, they don't care enough to AI generate cryptids.
That's true.
They haven't got to that point. I haven't seen that stuff.
They just the closest to a cryptid AI generated I've ever seen is Gwyneth Paltrow being spotted by like a dash cam in the woods at night.
Oh, you're just gonna end it there.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I love that.
I think I do too. I thought you were just gonna explain more. I'm gonna leave that 5 seconds of silence in.
I was kind of hoping you would. I was like, I really hope this keeps going. Hello?
So, is this...
Sorry. I got visited by a cryptid. I heard something like fall, and I can't tell what it is.
It's a ghost, a spooky ghost.
Not gonna get me. Gwyneth Paltrow's spirit. She's here.
So, is this still around? Yeah, kind of. Sightings are still occasionally reported today. But I have a feeling that a lot of these are just for clout, or people saw something weird, and much like Nessie, we're just really romanticizing the idea of, oh my god, it's Mokulemembe. Oh. But also, a lot of these people looking, and I found quite a few reports from expeditions from these kinds of peoples, but they're going to remain nameless intentionally. Bunch of creationists trying to deny extinction and the age of the Earth. This is often thrown, and Nessie is much the same actually, but people are throwing it out as like, oh, it's a living fossil like a cryonoid or the coelacanth.
Or a platypus.
Or a platypus, yeah. But not understanding the reasons why cryonoids or coelacanths are still alive and why they disappear from the fossil record. It's because they live in the very deep ocean, and which doesn't fossilize, and they used to live closer to shore. And then when those habitats close to shore kind of went away, they moved into the deep ocean, and then they didn't fossilize anymore. This is not the case for sauropod dinosaurs. But people are still out there looking, mostly in Cameroon, as mentioned, because the Republic of Congo it's kind of unstable, and people aren't really going there. So, but yeah, still very cool. The giant squid. So what is it? Well, it's a big squid.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Descriptive.
Yeah, I mean.
It's these reports of these are found from really all over the world, all the way from like and made their way into pop culture a lot as well. Like these are still talked about. I should have put this on the later slide. This is Jack Sparrow. This is not a real image. This is the ending of Dead Man's Chest. That's just
That's artwork. A real image.
The classic image. The giant squid is also often referred to as the Kraken. And there's a lot of old depictions of like a giant squid tearing down ships, hence Jack Sparrow, or this kind of image of like the here be monsters on squids and the leviathans.
On maps, yeah.
But there are ancient sightings from all the way back in the 4th century BC. Aristotle described a large squid that he called a tethys, which is much larger than a Teuthus, not tethys as in or Tethyys, like the sea.
Not the sea.
Not the sea.
Okay.
Much larger.
Like
I'm probably mispronouncing
toothies.
that. I don't speak Aristotle.
Well, that's also like that name is also associated with like a Greek mythology too, right? Like
yes.
it's.
Well, Greek mythology, I was going to get to this in a second, but Greek mythology is just full of creatures, especially squid-like creatures in, like, out there in the ocean. Like, Scylla and Charybdis are probably from the Odyssey. They are the guardians of I can't remember the passage. Read the Odyssey, or watch Christopher Nolan's movie next year. Not sponsored.
Oh, Christ.
But,
I forgot that was happening.
Yeah. Watch Percy Jackson 2.
Don't.
It's a bad movie.
Do not.
Or read the book, though. And I think they're doing Sea of Monsters right away for the TV show, but I didn't watch the TV show. I watched, like, the first, 3 episodes, said this was fine, and then I just never finished it.
I heard it was cute. I heard it was good.
It was totally fine. I just, this is for 12-year-olds. I'm too old for this.
I was gonna say, it was like people are cringing because they do, like, a Fortnite dance. I'm like, they're 12.
They are actual
of course they're
children.
gonna do a Fortnite
This
dance.
is
They're
actually
children.
pretty book accurate for the most part.
Yeah.
These are
accurate
actual children,
children.
but I don't need to watch this now. But anyways, Aristotle, he described it as being much, much larger than a normal squid, and he described it as being 5 ells long, which is the length of your elbow to the tip of your finger, so about 5 to 6 meters. Pliny the Elder, from the 1st century BC, so this is a Roman guy.
Noted casualty in the eruption of Vesuvius in 70-ish BC or AD.
I think you're right, actually. I think he is that guy.
No, yeah, he is. It's
Yeah.
Pliny the Elder.
I've read
as
a bunch
opposed to
of his
Pliny the
stuff.
Younger. His kid who watched him die from across the bay. Well, indirectly, you can't really see that far.
Both the Plinies come up a lot in, if you take any classics course in university, they go on Roman history.
A lot.
These guys come up a lot because they wrote a lot of shit.
He wrote good. I mean, you'd save the guy who died famously trying to save people in the massive catastrophic eruption on the mainland of the Roman Empire. You'd save those books.
Mm-hmm. I think, well, also a lot of, I think this was more his son's writings, Pliny the Younger. Pliny the Younger, Pliny the Lesser.
No, I have terrible news for you. Pliny the Elder is like the uncle to Pliny the Younger.
Oh, is he okay, I thought he was his dad. But
yeah,
a lot, I think it's more
confusing.
I think it's more the Younger, but a lot of the most verified reports of the existence of Jesus being a real dude is from him, which is cool.
Reports today from Judea. You got this weird guy over here. You heard of him?
This just in. This guy just walked on water. We're calling in this.
It's like 40 AD, and he's like, "This just in: Jesus Christ, dead and risen."
Yeah.
In 3 days?
Breaking news. He's back, folks.
Exciting
We just
spotted.
can't get rid of him.
The joke being 40 AD, approximately 10 years after Jesus is said to have died, approximately.
The dates are squishy, but a lot of the verified
Squishy.
account. But there are verified accounts of him probably being real. That's a whole other episode.
Yeah.
He described, Pliny the Elder described a gigantic squid that he called a polypus, which he called as big as a cask, with about 9 meters long and a carcass weighing about 700 pounds. But also there are reports from, particularly around the 1500s, the 1700s, of a kraken, which is what these ones are. And this is the real depiction that shows up in pop culture a lot, as I mentioned. A guy named Olaus Magnus was kind of the first. He described a monster with many arms and massive red eyes, and also with a large square head, and described it as having a black color. What he maybe saw was a sperm whale that dragged a squid up to the surface, which would explain the many arms, and the eye, and also the big square head.
Hey, Connor.
Yes.
Speaking of sperm whales that
We'll get
dragged
to
a
that.
giant squid up to the surface. Wait, did you put it in here?
You mean like this one?
What? No, like they got video of a sperm whale with a squid in its mouth at the surface.
I don't think I actually put that. No, I didn't put that in. Don't look at those. I should have put that in. I know what you're talking about.
Double check
Tentacles.
Don't look at this.
Did you see the video?
I think when it came out, but I kind of forgot about it, to be honest.
Damn. That's okay.
It's okay.
But yes, it's very cool.
Yeah. The guy named Christian Johnson, or Jenson, coined the name Kraken. And there are many accounts and many stories of animals like this, but mostly they involve stories of many-armed monsters. The physical evidence, which most of these stories are probably from, is mainly from sperm whales, as Ethan rudely spoiled.
Dude, I got you talked about sperm whales, and then I mentioned the physical evidence. You said coming to the surface. You said it. It was topical.
It is cool. But so sperm whales sometimes wash ashore, or when they're hunted, are found with sucker marks and scratches on their heads, like this guy here. They also often have their beaks are found in stomachs, so like this. And for really long, and also sometimes bits would wash on shore. For the long time, these beaks especially and these scratches were the most verified accounts of that this is probably real. The bits washing ashore are usually pretty gross and not really identifiable.
We should have done blobsters, dude. Oh, that would have been good.
I don't know what that is.
I could have done blobsters. Could have done the Montauk monster. Fuck, I'll do that in the next.
We'll do a cryptids
collaboration one. Yeah.
This is a piece of skin from a sperm whale with sucker marks all over it, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. But of course, this is a real animal. How do I say this? Archithethius, I think, species. There are potentially up to 17 species. What did I just say? Archithethius ducks is kind of the most famous species, and depending on the lumpers versus splitters debate is alive and well with the giant squid. So to briefly paraphrase, some scientists like to group all very similar animals up under one species. Others like to break them up into lots of many different species. Which is the right answer honestly kind of varies per study and kind of per animal. I don't really know. I don't know enough about giant squids to make a real opinion on this, but maybe up to like 17 species or maybe just one. Highly debated, more research required. It's more of a argument, especially in paleontology, but that's not really relevant right now. These are very, very difficult to study. Not a whole lot is known about them. They live very deep, and they tend to rot quite quickly. So when something does wash ashore, like something like this, with the absolute legend Nigel Marven posing next to him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Hard
my
photo.
fucking boy. Love this guy.
I know it smells crazy in that photo.
Yeah, this is gonna be so gross. But
he's just on it with bare hands.
This
like,
guy's
yeah!
I bet he's got dogs
Look,
out behind there.
this guy
Blue shorts
went
and a
and
red
hunted
shirt.
down
You can't-
Therizinosaurus by himself. It's just him and this guy went to the 7 deadliest seas of all time. This guy swam with Basilosaurus. He swam with Dunkleosteus. This guy's a
He
legend.
took down the giant squid himself.
He did this with his bare hands.
This is how fast it rots.
This
They
guy's
got
a
it on the
legend.
beach and they started taking photos. It was already this bad.
For context, he's in a bunch of dinosaur documentaries made by the same guys who made Walking with Dinosaurs. I'd love him, but also he's just a cool guy and he does a lot of good work.
Damn right.
Anyways, giant squid stuff, when it washes ashore, it rots quite quickly, but it also suffers a lot of decompression damage, which also happens when you manage to accidentally catch one. You pull them ashore, and all of their cells explode. That's why it's the bends, basically. That's why blobfish look like that. If you see a picture of a blobfish in their actual in their actual habitat, they don't look like that. They look like a normal fish.
God, my poor baby, the blobfish.
Yeah, though any picture or like any wacky little art you see of a blobfish, that's a desiccated corpse.
It's not the real. It's not his real form.
No,
He's a
they look
beautiful
like a normal
boy.
fish.
They look normal.
They
I
look
just
so
really
normal.
fucked them up.
Some of what we do know about them, they live in typically temperate areas around a depth of 300 meters to 1 kilometer deep. They rely mainly on deep sea fish and other squid for food. They mostly just live like normal squid. They have
Except
extremely
really big because deep sea gigantism.
Oh yeah, no, this shit's crazy. They have two very powerful tentacles with those suckers that are famous for marking the whales up. That's what they mostly use to catch their prey. All the other little tentacles are for propulsion mostly. They're hunted mainly by sperm whales, and their very first footage was from 2004, which is this one. It's very cool if you go see that video. Are they still around? Yes, we just know what it is now. They are still in pop culture. This was a book I absolutely loved as a kid about... this is apparently part of a whole series called Cryptid Hunters. I only ever read this one. I could never find the first one or the sequel.
Every single one of those books, dog.
I loved this book because I still have it, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. I liked it as a kid. There is, however, an animal called the colossal squid, which even less is known about this. The Latin name is... Give me a second. Mesonychotethys hamiltoni, which lives even deeper and is much bigger, and even less is known about it. The first confirmed specimen was captured in 2007. That is this guy here. These are the same specimen. As I said, they break down pretty quickly.
Wait, between like middle photo and right photo?
Yeah, these two pictures here. This is them calling out. This is off the coast of New Zealand.
Incredible.
A fishing boat caught it by accident, and then they took it to a museum, but like it broke down a lot. This is the largest known specimen. It's not the first specimen, but it's the best specimen and the biggest. Some of what we do know about them, they're confirmed to reach over 1,000 pounds, but evidence is closer that they may be closer to 1,500 pounds. This is based mainly on beaks found in sperm whale stomachs. They live mainly in southern hemisphere oceans, largely in the Weddell Sea and the Kerguelen Archipelago. These are around Antarctica. They mostly eat fish, but also other squids. They're likely also cannibals, which... Cannibalism is not the exception in...
Is always the answer.
It's not an exception in nature. It's the norm. It is not always the answer.
Well, especially in a hostile environment such as the deep
Exactly.
ocean.
Yeah, cannibalism is a lot more common than
down there.
Most people like to think it is. Sperm whales also eat these guys, as mentioned. Also this specimen was a female. It had a 10-meter length. It weighed about 450 kilograms.
Did you mention the hooked suckers?
Briefly, but their suckers are crazy. I should have put a picture in.
They got hooked suckers like Humboldt squids, so every sucker has a hook in it
I meant to put a picture into that. It's really cool. Just go look up giant squid suckers, or it'll be a picture on screen now.
Be careful
Humboldt squid.
You don't add RULE34.
Yeah, don't add that.
Don't do that.
If you... Humboldt squid is a much more common squid. That is regularly put in nature documentaries and does like the diurnal migration constantly with the rest of everything. So it comes up very often and is fished for very often. Humboldt squid get like to be like 2 meters long. Like you can find Humboldt squid taller than me. And that's already a big fucking squid, and these are getting even bigger.
Yeah, here's sort of a size diagram here.
And people, like, they send fucking poor cameramen out to swim with those fucking things. They got hooks on their goddamn tentacles, and they're bigger than the divers. Underwater cameramen are very brave.
They really are. God's bravest soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Anyway, were you about to talk about this glass squid?
These are pictures. No, that's not a glass squid. We'll come back to that in a second.
Oh, he's a peacock, right?
Nope. These are kind of some size estimates. These are giant squids, I believe. One of them is a male, one of them is female. Ruined. As far as I know, that's the colossal squid, so much bigger.
No, the colossal squid's the fat one, is my understanding.
Are they? Wait, hang on. I can't read this. I don't care. It's fine. Do you see those long arms there? Those are the arms I was talking about that or what they use for prey capture. This is an image from the very first captured footage of it from 2025. This was a juvenile, so this is why it doesn't really look like that. But yeah, this was the very first footage of a living specimen, but we still have not footage of an adult specimen, which is crazy.
A colossal squid?
This is a colossal squid. This is the juvenile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
I always had an understanding that maybe it's a situation of it's a glass eel situation where like a juvenile of a species was identified as a separate species, because I look at that and I'm like, yeah, it's like a peacock or a glass squid, but
no, it is supposedly the juvenile. I mean, look, squid, I don't know a whole lot about invertebrates. I do not work on invertebrates. I work on vertebrates.
I don't fossilize very
and
good.
I don't work on fossil, and I work on extinct ones at that. Cephalopod fossil record is bad, so I don't know a whole lot about them. You can find the beaks.
I can't believe it. Why would that be the case, Connor?
Because they're squishy and there's no hard parts. Sometimes
bring the hard parts back.
Really, all you can find.
Shout out Ordovician, dog.
Hell yeah, you can find the beak, and sometimes in certain specimens there is they're called squid pens. There's like a bony part in like that area. You can find those.
My vestigial mollusk shell.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, squids are cool. I really like giant squid. The chupacabra.
Hell yeah.
Or the goat sucker, as it's more colloquially known. This is known mainly from Puerto Rico and Mexico, but also throughout southern United States and South America, all the way down into Chile, I believe is the most southern it's been spotted.
Cool.
There are varying descriptions of these, but they're typically described as a smallish reptilian dog-like creature, maybe around the size of a bear, with spikes along its back and blazing eyes. Some descriptions are a little more rodent-like. Some say it hops like a kangaroo. Sometimes it has wings, sometimes it doesn't. Typically, they have leathery and scaly greenish-gray skin, and they often have quills running down the back. So you can see even on... But they're most famous for just, like, killing animals, mostly goats, and draining all their blood. Even just these two pictures here kind of show the range of what these sort of depictions are like.
Yeah, animals drained of their blood is always one that I find horrifying, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a scary description. It kind of reminds me of...
Because in most... Go ahead, Ray, sorry.
Sorry, no, it's okay. There was this, like, monsters picture book that our library had, that I don't remember if it was for the chupacabra or a different animal. Yeah, that's the one. That's exactly the book.
I've been trying to find this book for years, and I found a page from it.
Monsters
that's amazing.
Around the world.
I'm gonna look at the chapter.
That's the one.
Is that what it's called? I didn't actually notice that.
It's in the top left of the photo, dog.
Look, my extent of research was Cryptid book encyclopedia for kids, and I couldn't find it all day.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so there was like a picture of one of the animals, the beasts, that like as the example photo was like a picture of a dog barking at something in the darkness in one picture, and then in the next picture it's morning, but the dog collar is like on the lawn and it's bloodied, and then there's like the parent, like the person looking for their dog, which, by the way, dog's not alive anymore. But that always like scared the shit out of me, especially when it's like, this thing eats your animals and it will come for you next. I'm like, not my animals! Spare my animal, but take me, okay?
Ooh, I maybe just found a video about
my dog dies last. I go first.
Oh my god, I just found a video about somebody going through this book. Oh my god. I'll save that for later.
That's good.
Wow,
send it in the links, please. I want to watch it too.
But yeah, animals drained of their blood has always been particularly horrifying, especially when we get to something that we'll be doing in a separate podcast, which is aliens, where especially with something we'll also talk about in a separate episode, Skinwalker Ranch, where no human has ever been harmed there, but you'll just find like a cow, no meat on its bones, just the skin, everything else is gone, and that's it. It's horrifying.
Well, we'll get to this in a little bit.
The body horror of this.
We'll get to this in a little bit of a minute, or in a couple of minutes. But sometimes when they're found drained of blood, they're not really drained of blood. Like, they just had a wound and then they bled out, and then it's often exaggerated.
That makes more sense.
What happens when you get your throat torn out? You bleed a lot.
And then the sexy vampire comes and drinks it all up, and then they definitely drain your blood.
And then Robert Pattinson's there.
And they just go like, and you're just like an ice cream cone, just licks it. You're like, this is delicious.
Let's go through some sightings. These are not all the sightings. As always, I'm paraphrasing and just picked a few that were interesting. 1975, the Vampire of Mocha. This was a series of livestock killings that occurred in Moca, Puerto Rico, possibly attributed to a satanic cult, but this has never been sure. Animals reported to have been bled dry by a series of small circular incisions along their body. There was not a whole lot I could find on this other than that. 1955. The March... Yeah, 1995. Sorry, not 1950. Sorry, that one threw me. 95.
I was wondering why you had them out of
I was
order.
like, it's in the wrong
95.
spot, dog.
This is a very recent cryptid. March. 8 sheep were discovered dead with puncture wounds to the chest, drained of blood. But again, as I mentioned, if you get your chest torn out, you're going to bleed a lot. August. Potentially up to 150 farm animals and pets were reportedly killed. An eyewitness named Madeline Tolinto saw reportedly a strange creature. Puerto Rican comedian Silvero Perez coined the name Chupacabra shortly after these incidents. And following this, reports of similar incidents spread throughout Mexico, Brazil, Chile, and the southern United States.
In 1995 it got its name. I never knew that.
Yeah, neither did I. I always thought this was much older.
From a fucking comedian.
Yeah, from a comedian. It is important to note, around this time, there was a severe drought. Just hold on to that thought. But as Ray mentioned, this is a book I used to take out of my elementary school library all the time. I loved this book, and there were a few other books like it. There was one on like fantasy creatures, but the cryptids one was always one of my favorites.
The absolutely hilariously like medieval looking like D&D-esque goblin.
It really is.
Yeah. It's a freaky little guy.
Yeah. 2004, July. A rancher in San Antonio, Texas, reportedly killed a hairless dog-like creature that was attacking his livestock. This was initially referred to as the Elmendorf beast. Devin, what did I do? Oh, the rancher's name was Devin McNally, from the town of Elmendorf, just outside of San Antonio. This was in broad daylight. Reportedly, he saw the creature munching on a mulberry tree, and he shot it outside his mobile home. Rumors spread shortly that it was a chupacabra. A few months later, a very similar animal was shot and killed in Pollock, Texas, by a Stacy Womack. She was a vet and claimed to have never seen something so hairless with long fangs and claws. It hid under the house and was killed because they deemed it a threat. Here's a quote from her. Everyone asked me why I didn't freeze it, but I wouldn't put something like that in my freezer. 100% fair. Totally understand.
Coward move, but I get it.
And from 2006 to 2010, there were many reports of small, hairless beings killing animals. Some of these are verified, some of them are unverified, and these are spotted all over the place. Reportedly, a taxidermist got a hold of one, referred to as the Blanco Texas Chupacabra. I could not find a picture of this specimen, nor any more information. Some likely causes are they're coyotes or dogs with mange or other parasites. This is a normal coyote. These are coyotes with mange. They look very different. It would explain their strange behavior and their experience, because mange kind of drives them nuts.
Yeah, what's mange?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's a disease they get. It screws their fur up. It kind of messes their brain up. I don't know specifically how mange works.
Mange is a type of skin disease caused by parasitic mites. Because of various species of mites also infect plants, birds, and reptiles, the term mange, or colloquially the mange, suggesting poor condition of the skin and fur due to infection, is sometimes reserved for pathological mite infestation of non-human mammals. It's mites.
It's mites. I didn't know
but
that.
Yeah, I'm sure rabies could also fucking...
Oh, I'm sure most of these guys had rabies too, yeah.
I'm sure the mange itself gave him just... Yeah, like you said, just brain function issues.
As mentioned, these were in areas of severe drought, which is also probably driving them to be far more aggressive out of sheer desperation. It is important to note that according to, I can't remember what site I read this on, the movie Species came out in 1995, around the same time as this blew up. I've never seen this movie, but apparently the monster is very similar to a lot of the descriptions of Chupacabra. I googled Species monster, couldn't really find anything that really looked like it. Also, it has tits out, and I couldn't put that in the slides.
Okay, do you want to maybe just send?
You could just Google Species monster. It's not hot if that's what you're looking for. It just couldn't put it in the slides.
That's fine. I get it.
I don't know if that's true. Maybe there's another monster in the movie. I've never seen it. Some of the limited necropsies on the animals, because most people, once all of their animals get killed, just kind of burn them. There are a few limited necropsies on them. And like I said earlier, they weren't really like bled dry. They just bled a lot because they were mauled by an animal, which then got scared off. So, which happens a lot. I live on a farm. This happens sometimes. From coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
Chupacabra, dog. It comes up north.
Yeah. Yeah, rural Alberta, famous for chupacabras.
Yeah.
I saw one the other day running into the woods.
Is it? So did I.
While I was
I
driving.
almost hit one with my car the other day.
Oh,
That's true. I was in the car with Ray. I saw a chupacabra.
Wait, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were there because I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And then
Was
you
this
were
yesterday?
like, "It's a chupacabra." Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
You guys didn't
I
tell
think
me
it was on
that.
our way back to driving Ethan home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys didn't tell me that.
Well, we haven't. It's not like it's been 24
It's been
hours.
24 hours since we hang out. Why didn't you update me on everything going on in your lives?
I'm sorry. You didn't even ask us to tell you when we got home. We just assumed you hated
No.
us.
You only live 5 minutes
I don't know why
away.
Connor didn't said this thing.
Well,
wasn't
true, I
hot,
didn't go
but there it
home,
is in general, Ray.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. I need live reaction.
What picture
Yeah.
did you put in?
Yep.
Hold on. I can't. Ugh, it's taking forever. What do you mean that's not hot? What the fuck are you talking about? I like it.
General.
I like it. That looks cool.
This is not loading.
It's too powerful.
I can't get this to load. I have it open on my phone and it won't load.
Dude,
Look, whatever.
it's whatever.
Assuming
He's
maybe
mad
I
he
can,
doesn't get to see hot
maybe I can get
tits.
it on my computer here.
Chupacabra. This is what happens.
No, that's
you know?
not
You
hot.
get the coyote, it kills the animal.
What do you
Look,
mean?
either way.
Speaking of tits,
Is it
next
still?
slide.
No, that's the wrong one. Hang on, I closed my notes. Hang on, I was trying to see. Hang on. Okay.
Oh my god.
Is it still around? Kind of. People
Desktop
still seem
reveal.
to attribute animal killings to chupacabras
Yeah,
in the
we
area,
just
possibly in
did.
2019. Last one.
Oh fuck this stupid fucking goddamn piece of shit.
I've never heard of this
No,
one
I
before
love this one.
I've seen the image on the top right so many times.
So this is the
I've never
Loveland
seen
Frog,
this.
or the Loveland Lizard. Most of my information for this is sourced from Tetsu, which is and some of the Nessie stuff was too. This is the blog of paleontologist Darren Naish, which I didn't know until I had already finished these slides. Big shout out to that guy. This is typically this is a humanoid creature of around 3 to 4 feet tall with the head of a frog and leathery skin, mostly known from Loveland, Ohio. There were a few main sightings of it. May 25th, 1955. A businessman or traveling salesman, there is debate, possibly named Robert Honeycutt, was driving home from work at 3:30 a.m. There, he saw 3 bipedal grayish reptilian creatures with webbed hands, deep wrinkles, an erect bipedal posture, and a frog-like head. They were seen conversing under a bridge.
Erect.
One was holding a wand that shot sparks, and when this happened, he ran away. That's what this depiction is.
Incredible.
Incredible.
It's
I love
Me and
this.
the boy,
Rizzo?
me and the boys doing some
Where's-
fucking
Wizardry.
magic in the woods.
Yeah.
So we saw
Charcoal
like
or
3
whatever.
kids
Tag yourself,
and
this
one of them
one's
had a
me.
Roman candle. I had the Roman candle.
Ugh, I guess I'm the other one. That's just how I feel all the time.
May 3rd,
Squat.
1972. Police officer Ray Shockey was driving at night. It's cold enough to be icy, and he saw a creature crossing the road. It was said to be crouching, then it stood erect, and then it climbed over the guardrail off the bridge and jumped. Scratch marks were possibly found on the guardrail, but this was unverified. 2 weeks later, fellow police officer Mark Matthews saw it from the car, and he saw it stood up. He shot at it, but it again escaped over the guardrail.
Average cop activities.
Look, I see a weird
Don't know what that
animal
is.
on the road, I'm
Gotta shoot it.
shooting that. 2016. 2 teenagers, Sam Jacobs and his girlfriend, unnamed, were playing Pokemon Go and saw it and photographed it. That's this picture. Quote,
Fuck.
"We saw a huge
Wild.
frog near the water. Not in the game, Pokemon Go. But it was an actual giant frog. I took a couple pictures and a video because I'd never seen one that big. That's Pikachu, idiot.
It's Palpitoad.
Then the thing stood up and walked on its hind legs.
Seismitoad.
I swear on my grandmother's grave that this is the truth. I'm not sure if it was a frogman or just a giant frog. Either way, I've never seen anything like it. This is probably a lawn ornament.
Fair.
Causes. A large iguana. Probably missing its tail. It's likely it was escaped or released from being a pet. Very similar to those cats that Ethan mentioned earlier. So it's important to note that from the 1972 incidents, which were around the same place, it was close to a boot factory, which was releasing hot water released by the factory, like into the water. And it was cold enough to be icy. Iguanas are cold-blooded animals. They can't survive if it's icy, so it may have been hiding in the water just to survive. Mark Matthews apparently did hit and kill the animal. This was initially left out of the original reports. He said it was an iguana. Then he showed the body to Shockey, the first guy, who confirmed it to be the same animal. Apparently, it was already half dead when it was shot, because it's Ohio, and in May, it's cold, and it's an iguana. But these do get big. The original cause is a lot less clear. But keep in mind, the 50s is peak alien time and swamp men and all that kind of stuff. So probably just some guy.
See anything? Yeah, there was a bunch of dudes hanging out with a fucking Roman candle.
Could have just been guys with a Roman candle. Yeah, like...
Yeah.
Is it still around? Not really. It's just fun to talk about. And that brings us to the Ray Zone.
All right, we're in the Ray Zone, baby. I only did 4 because I did not have enough time to finish the 5th one because I was gone for like a week and then I've been busy and then I went to the doctor today, so I did not have the extra hour. But anyways, I'm gonna do my best to do these cryptids justice. The first we're gonna talk about is the Jersey Devil, which admittedly was the one that I cared about the least. But it had a very interesting backstory. I was really interested in like how it came to be. But primarily, the Jersey Devil, the origins are mostly in obviously South Jersey, and as well as Philadelphia and the U.S. Hold on. Oh, I got dog hair in my mouth.
Huh?
I have dog hair in my mouth.
Reasonable. It happens to the best of us.
It does. Okay.
The beautiful Pine Barrens of the state, the Garden State.
Okay. I have dog hair in my mouth. Let's fucking go. Okay. Yeah. So the alternative name for the Jersey Devil is the Leeds Devil, and I was kind of confused on why, but the reasoning is because it also the origins are kind of more following a family, the Leeds family. But yes, they inhabit the forest and pine barrens in South Jersey. The creature itself is mostly described as a bipedal flying creature with hooves, but it's also the body is compared to a kangaroo or a wyvern-like creature with a horse or goat-like head. They have leathery bat wings, horns, occasionally with small arms and clawed hands. That's like another version when there's no hooves involved. And it has a forked or a barbed tail. What a
gay little pose.
I know. Look at those titties.
Right?
We support them.
We support them.
They got a little haggy titties, but that's part of the appeal, you know. The creature itself is usually described to move very quickly and emit a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. So when I was reading some of the like instances, I think I just saw just the scream was, the scream seemed to be the biggest factor, but the speed thing wasn't necessarily an important necessity. But it's still obviously, what's a cryptic without some quick, speedy, screaming babies running around, you know? Yeah. Normally the variety of original date, or it varies in original dates, mostly in the mid 18th century, around the 1720s, I want to say. But the story itself, I believe, is the story that at least is mostly taking inspiration from is in 1735. The Jersey Devil is supposed to be like a spawn of the Leeds, like 13th kid.
Do you want to go to the next slide?
I think the next slide has some stuff. Yeah, let's go look at that. Let's see. So, Leeds Point is the main area in Pines Barren, but apparently the Leeds family is a family that, as you can see, this is like the house that was supposed, like, that's like the physical proof that people have to tie the Leeds family to the Jersey Devil legend. I have here, Leeds had the wife of the Leeds family had 12 children, and after discovering she was pregnant with the 13th kid, she cursed the child in frustration.
God damn.
I know. There's other stories
That's
too,
tough.
talking about like other potential people that could be the mother of the lead, like the wife of the Leeds family, but it's always like 9 kids, 7 kids, this kids, and I'm like, this is the most is the 12th, and this one seems to make the most sense, but like 13 being a cursed number.
Yeah, 7
makes the
kids,
most
that's
sense.
nothing.
7 kids, that's nothing. No, not at all. When she had her 13th kid, she cursed it, saying, "Let the child be the devil." The child, though born normally, immediately grew wings, a tail, and claws, and after birth flew out into the Pine Barrens. Some other versions
That happened to me when I was
include
born.
Yeah, I could see that. Some other versions include the child growling and screaming before beating everybody in the home with its tail before escaping through the chimney, which was kind of power move, I guess, but like you killed 12 children and mom and a dad, and I guess that's what you get for cursing your child being the devil, so, you know. Another theory or thought was that the wife was actually a witch whose baby daddy for the 13th kid was the devil himself. There was also like there's another version or another legend saying that like after the baby was born, there was a clergyman that tried to exorcise the child, like from either like the kid itself or while it was already wild out in the woods. But you know, obviously it didn't work because it's already out there. There was another interesting one where there's another case of a Mrs. Leeds near Mays Landing, Estaville, where the lady becomes pregnant and rejects her baby. It doesn't say how many kids. I assume this is probably one of the ones that's like not 13 yet, but whatever. She says that she wished a stork would deliver a devil. Thus, a winged devil was born and flew out the window. It would intermittently return, but the mother would shoo it away. So, for some reason, the wife, like the mom, just wants a... Yeah, she's like, get out of here, I don't want you. Yeah, that's kind of what the legend is, but the real-life lead tied to this house here is Deborah Leeds, being the mother.
That's how it should be pronounced, honestly.
There's a video. Yeah. Sorry, there's a person who, like, made a joke of, like, hi, my name is Deborah, but I go by Deborah. And so I've never been able to say Deborah without saying Deborah first, especially because, like
Hell
Deborah, spelled with an O. Disregard, unimportant. The real-life lead of Deborah Leeds, she's the mother of a bunch of kids. I think that was actually 12 children she had on record because her husband, Japhet Leeds, he named 12 kids in his will that he wrote in 1736. Deborah and Japhet, I don't know how to spell it. It's Japhet. They lived in Leeds Point, which in that section is now known as the Atlantic County in New Jersey, which is the common location of the Jersey Devil in these stories. What else is there? Sorry, it might take some time. I'm trying to refresh. The Jersey Devil was the one I did first, so of course I'm like trying to remember what happened. But anyways, there's another for the family drama. Daniel Leeds was a rival publisher against Benjamin Franklin during some debating politics in New Jersey, somewhere in the 1720s when this happened. Which later led to the Leeds family, Daniel's family, being described as monsters, And Daniel's negative description and reputation described him as the Leeds Devil, which is considered to be part of the myth's origin story. So there's like historians who are like, yeah, part of the reason why the Leeds Devil became what it is because also like the Leeds in political times was also just like such a huge taboo, like they were just really bad people or something like that. But it was more like a reputation. I don't really know why. They could have been the you know, like the conservatives in their time, I guess. Maybe people at the time were like, you're bad or whatever.
I mean,
or maybe not.
That time period, that's revolutionary America, right? You got this boiling sentiment in general of your loyalists and your patriots. So we're building up to that. So it's very reasonable to get this kind of like something that nasty as to call someone the devil.
Exactly. You can go to the next slide. That's mostly the real life leads, but
how do you get
most
this
of the
picture?
site
At 3 a.m. looking for beans.
Looking for beans. As you can see in these pictures, or at least the one on the top right, that's the more hoofed description. That's kind of one of the more earlier drawing examples of... Sorry, I wasn't sure some peek in my room. One of the earlier drawings of the Lee Devil, or the Jersey Devil, without the claws. Still kind of a weird freak. Like, I would be pretty pissed if I looked like that too, and I probably would do some killing, so I get it. Like that's unfortunate. The fact that your head and your neck is like the size of a giraffe, but your body's like a chicken, like the proportions aren't there. That's
Look,
just
stop
unfortunate.
making fun of me, Ray. I'm sorry, okay?
Connor,
Sorry, I
I've
don't
been
live up
making
to your
you,
beauty standards.
Look, I don't care if you look like that. The fact that you cough like a little bitch is it's easy to make fun of. He doesn't cough like a little bitch. I just make fun of him. So most of the startings.
Ray's bullying me again.
Ray, kids, settle down.
Keep going.
I could just leave. Most of the sightings started in the early 1820s or so into the 1950s. Those are the more prominent ones, but not really a lot of local, like recent sightings that I could find. But
guy,
specifically,
apparently, me on a Friday night looking for beans.
Yeah, no, they were like, oh, we just leave him. We gotta just leave him by himself. He's busy. He's got his stuff going on.
He's got errands to run. He's got things to do.
He does.
That's a woman on a mission right there.
It is. Those little wings got a lot of work to do.
Oh yeah.
During that period, though, it's mostly reported sightings, so less of like word of mouth and more like, I'm reporting this crime. There's this weird shit going on. There's like, because there's lots of sightings that go unreported for lots of years. People think that people are crazy, and they're like, you need to calm the fuck down. So a lot of the sightings, though, that were reported have to do with the Jersey Devil actively on a hunt, or they have evidence of the devil hunting like the properties like livestock in their farms. In 1925, a local farmer in Greenwich Township had shot an quote-unquote unidentified animal when it had crossed onto his land to hunt his stock. When he showed other farmers in the county the picture that he took of the animal's corpse, don't know why he didn't show the corpse itself, but whatever, he claimed that none of the 100 people he asked could identify what it was. They didn't say why. They're like, oh no, I don't know what that is. Not, oh god, that's terrifying. What the fuck is this abomination you're showing me? Like, just, no, that's not, I don't know what that is. Like, so chill. So clearly, I don't know if this was a Biff story of like, oh, this was a story that happened, and not just like, they're like, oh, can you show us the picture? And he's like, oh, sorry, I lost it. I burned in a fire. Like, where's the proof, buddy? Like, why are they so chill? Exactly.
Found this devil guy. Also, my dad is the boss of Nintendo.
My uncle owns Nintendo.
Yeah.
So I pulled this quote of my favorite sighting, which was the earliest sighting. It's sometime in the 1800s, early 1800s. It wasn't dated, but I like the description. According to legend, while visiting the Hanover Mill Works to inspect his cannonballs being forged, Commodore Stephen de Couchier sighted a flying creature and fired a cannonball directly upon it, to no effect.
Well, I mean, with cannonballs, you're rolling d20s at disadvantage. Like, it's already a fucking absolute coin flip if you're
Nat
gonna
one.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Nat one.
So,
in most inconvenient weapon to use to try and hit a flying fuck that's like probably
also the tire cannon
like
is hilarious
60
because
pounds.
So Commodore, this guy ordered his artillery regiment to load that bitch and launch.
Get 'em, boys.
And get 'em, boys. Let's go kill the devil.
Exactly. They were prepped and ready. They're like, this is the perfect time to be checking out my cannibals. Yeah, this one was kind of interesting because the way that they described the Jersey Devil legend, and I'm more than happy to be corrected, it seemed that for the belief, it's just one creature, not multiple, like a chupacabra. But there's lots of claims. There's more than one story, like that farmer story, of the creature being dead and them finding the corpse and doing whatever. So it's like, if it's dead, why does it keep showing up? But maybe that's why there hasn't been recent reports, because maybe they're like, oh, well, it's dead, we don't have to worry about it anymore. And then the other creature they see, they can explain as another kind of creature, because something you'll probably both have noticed is there's lots of overlap with different cryptids. So even if it's in the same area or even just a state or a province over, there's lots of overlap. So obviously they could be killing what they think is the Jersey Devil might be a different kind of cryptid. That's why there's multiple killings. Who knows? But this one, I was gonna put a rating on each of them in terms of I don't know, cryptability. This one was a solid 6 out of 10.
You should have been doing that the whole time, actually. That's awesome.
Cryptability. Yeah.
At the end, we'll go back. We'll look at all the cryptids and rate them all on cryptability.
I'd rather go to bed, but okay.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Yeah, this is all. That's the Jersey Devil for y'all, but we're going to move on to the Wendigo next, please. This one's my favorite. I was really excited about the Wendigo.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Wendigo, this one is a very infamous creature among indigenous cultures across the, obviously, as you can see, Canadian central and east area, and then a little bit into the States on the east coast, and kind of somewhere, a little bit down in the middle, a little bit over here, a little over there. Any Algonquin speaking communities, it's pretty famous for, but even other indigenous communities in those areas are still aware of the Wendigo. That's probably why there's multiple different names. There's probably different name, but very much the same creature in different cultures.
Well, yeah, I don't think you mentioned, I looked through your slides quickly, you don't mention the Skinwalker or something like that.
No.
Which is similar but different in ways, but...
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really look for other... I kind of just took the other cryptids that were prompted. There wasn't very much on any kind of I used a few different sites for this one, just two, obviously not very many, but if I had more time, I would do way more research. Yes, the crypto wiki, and then just other Canadian historical, just quick little things, because it's hard for researching indigenous mythos or history can be tough when you're trying to look for an actual indigenous source. So I would like to have chosen an actual indigenous source website for these, but I kind of was in a rush, so I just quickly found what I sort of already knew about, and then just kind of went for it. But yeah, Skinwalker is another good example of basically the same creature, just a different.
This is also one of the ones that's up there in my cryptid love list. This shit's nightmare fuel to me.
They are freaky. They are very, very freaky little dudes. Yeah, so other names for the Wendigo, they're just kind of different spelling, a little bit different phonetically, but pretty much just the same Wendigo. So, the Wendigo can vary between the size of a human, whether it be 5 to 6 feet tall, or it can range up to being 15 feet tall at most. They have very skeleton-like thin, long bodies with gray skin, sunken eyes, bloody lips, yellow fangs, and a long, slimy tongue. Sometimes they're described as lipless apes with giant fangs that devour human flesh, but in regard, Wendigos are cannibals. They are what used to be what people are, turned into these creatures, whether by a spirit or by, self-greed, basically changing them into a monster. But the general consensus of a Wendigo is that there's this spirit that feeds on people's greed that sort of possesses the person, and that's what turns them into the creature that they are. You can go into the next slide. So there's an Algonquin myth that's like a little story, and I'll quickly read it here. It's not super long. Essentially, this father of a family ventures out into a snowstorm to hunt for food. There was no animals. He tried hard to find these animals, but he couldn't find anything until he kind of stopped and heard a hissing noise coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. Like, he couldn't tell where it was coming from. He then saw suddenly in front of him blood-soaked footprints, and while he clenched his knife, he knew in his instinct that there was a Wendigo nearby. The man knew he had one chance to slay the Wendigo, and the creature tested his might as it jumped out from the snow towards him. And the man was able to distract and hide from the creature by he had a spear and a knife. He chucked his spear at the Wendigo, which barely stunted the Wendigo, but it gave him enough time to hide. He got one more chance to kill the Wendigo. So when the Wendigo was trying to find him, he leaped out from his hiding spot and charged right at the Wendigo. Using his knife, he stabbed it right into the creature's eye. Or is described a fathomless black eye. While the Wendigo howled in pain, the knife reached deep into his brain cavity, and the man just stabbed and stabbed the Wendigo over and over again. Eventually the Wendigo fell, and the man watched as its grayish-white body that blended into the snow turned to mist and vanished against the winter floor, leaving only its spilled blood to give evidence of where or what it actually was. The father, this is a quote from the story, the translated story at least. It was a large creature as tall as a tree with a lipless mouth and jagged teeth. Its breath was a strange hiss, its footprints full of blood, and it ate any man, woman, or child. Not just the men, but the women and the children too, who ventured into its territory. And those, nice, thank you. And those were the lucky ones. Sometimes the Wendigo chose to possess a person instead, and then the luckless individual became a Wendigo himself, hunting down those he had once loved and feasting upon their flesh. So if you get lucky, you might just get killed by the Wendigo, but if you're not, your spirit will be trapped by the Wendigo's own spirit, and then they'll possess you to turn them into basically what they are, what you see in front of you. So they're kind of spooky. These are some images, kind of just an iteration of them. The one on the very bottom right is pretty much the simplistic. It's white. It's like pasty, barely human looking, a little too long, but just a bloody, ruthless creature. The one on the top is kind of a more artistic rendition, but I think this one was kind of more of, you'll see in the next slide, but just kind of the different iterations that a Wendigo can be described as. This one was sort of playing on, I think it was the spirit stealing part of it, but it was just a really cool picture. I thought I just wanted to include it in there. But you can go to the next slide. So these are some other, I'll actually touch base on these pictures in a second, but there wasn't just the indigenous communities that were reporting Wendigos in their lives. Wendigo was much more than just like a creature that we haven't seen yet. It was like a condition that they have seen before and continue to see even when like colonial settlers came to Canada, and they were like, you know, talking to the indigenous communities and learning from them. Paul Lejeune, in the early 17th century, he lived among the Algonquin people in their community, and he described that there was a spirit who would eat their inhabitants if they were not called. If the spirit itself wasn't called elsewhere, it would just inhabit the space that it was in and then just eat people. It showed that even the colonialist settlers in the area believed the same supernatural spirit existed, such as their indigenous neighbors did. Hudson Bay Company employees even reported some encounters and stories in the 19th century,
Rest in peace,
some of which labeling... Huh?
Rest in peace, Hudson Bay Company.
Yeah, rip.
What?
Sorry,
rest in peace. I thought you said Beast Hudson Bay Company, and I was like, what about it?
No.
R.I.P. Hudson Bay Company.
Sorry.
Hudson's Bay Company, sorry. No, it's okay. I just didn't
hear
you. That was on me.
I didn't mean to derail that so much.
It's okay. It's okay. Feel free, man. I'm doing my best, but I'm sweating balls over here. I don't wanna goof up. But anyways, some employees from HBC labeled some instances as quote unquote Wendigo psychosis, which the colonial settlers believed these people who were succumbed by the Wendigo spirit to just be crazy, mad people. In the early 20th century, the term Wendigo found its way into Western medical vocabulary. It was used by early psychiatrists to refer to a mental condition in which patients felt possessed by cannibalistic desires. So it wasn't, again, not just the creature. It was like a condition that happened to, I'm sure, not just indigenous communities and people, but probably anybody who, obviously would go through that. That's probably very cross-cultural, probably cross-continental, There's probably lots of instances, but for these communities, it's like they can see the spirit embody the person, and that's what changed them into what they are. The pictures, the top left is kind of a more Eurocentric, I think, or at least a non-Algonquin interpretation of the Wendigo. There is more versions of these ones in pop culture, like TV shows and movies, like Hannibal, the what's his name? Anyways, the TV show adaptation of Hannibal, that one depicts the cannibalistic Wendigo creature that follows like Will and Hannibal himself around as like this tall, slender, black, voidless creature with horns, like deer horns. Mm-hmm. And like the deer spirit is a symbol in the show, obviously, because it's about cannibalism.
That's like a monster show?
Hannibal? Well, Hannibal is a cannibal, but it's like a psychological horror. So they do...
I just thought it was like a realistic show. I've never seen it.
It's a beautiful show. I love it.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't know there were
like
monsters and supernatural elements to it.
It's not cool. Like the main, it's not the main pull, but there's lots, it's very like unusual. Like there's like a, in like the second or third episode, like they find a body that's like layers deep into the earth, like succumbed by mushrooms and stuff, and then like Will puts his consciousness into it and then like experiences. It's kind of like
the
it's about
Mikkelsen one, right?
Yeah.
Huh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's very good. I love that show.
All I know is that you like it. I did not know it. I just had no idea it was like a supernatural show. I thought it was just like a guy.
It is a guy. The supernatural, it's like an element. It's not the main part of the show. So I wouldn't go into it thinking, oh, it's going to be supernaturally. It's like it's a cannibal being very creative with his killings. Yeah, there's the magic and the whimsy is psychotic breakdowns. Yay! Yeah. But that's just like an example of the Wendigo being interpreted differently. The one on the top right, that is the Wendigo from hit video game Until Dawn.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, I don't know if we maybe talked about this before, maybe like 6 or 7 episodes back, but like whatever. That one's a decently accurate depiction of Wendigos. It talks about the miners in the mountains that get possessed by the Wendigo spirit, and they become Wendigos themselves and eat each other. And there's like lots of reports you can find in the game talking about people being like they just killed each other and then they eventually became cannibalistic. In the game, which I don't know if it's part of the actual legend, they also say that I think you just have to be in the area and then like succumb to cannibalism to eventually turn into a Wendigo. But there was I forgot that they confirmed in the game that being scratched by one doesn't turn you. It's not like werewolf rules. It's totally different. It's much more psychologically embedded in terms of becoming a cannibal. The one at the very bottom, that's the Supernatural TV show adaptation of the Wendigo, which was, for the early seasons of Supernatural, did a pretty good job at accurately depicting like legends and lore and not exaggerating them too much. I try to get as close to the roots as possible. Obviously no adaptation is going to be perfect, but it was decently well done, and it was a good episode. I remember watching it. I love Supernatural, but then they got worse, and that's a whole different story I'm not going to talk about.
These things happen.
That's literally Jensen Ackles.
Right there. Look at his beautiful face.
Jensen Ackles when he's told he has to do 8 more seasons of Supernatural.
At that point, that would have been like 13 more seasons from the seasons that episode aired.
So that many seasons?
Incredible.
There's 15, I think.
I thought there was 10.
No, there's like 15.
I like the Scooby-Doo crossover episode.
That one was cute. I like that one. They have a musical episode. It's wild. Anyways. So this my last point, which I didn't put down on here. I'm not sure if the indigenous groups within the mapped area that we saw 2 slides ago, or if it's a Canadian indigenous regional thing. But most folks that I've talked to, if not all the people I've talked to, who are of indigenous descent, do not say Wendigo during the winter seasons. The winter time, I think, is one of the more active times, I think, for Wendigos, because the story did take place during the winter. It's when they're trying to hunt and trying to provide for their family where they're the most vulnerable, and that's when the Wendigos strike. They're known to attack like the mentally weak and like vulnerable, so they can kind of feed on their greed and make them basically fall into like becoming a monster.
Yeah. The winter is the tough time, and
yeah,
you get to, if like someone weak of will gets to that point where in the winter you're looking around, you're running low on food, you don't think you're being able to catch anything in your trap line, you're looking around at your family, and
they're looking kind of tasty.
Yeah, exactly, right. Which is horrific, and is why this Wendigo is given so much fear, right? And
exactly.
In kind of a horrified terms, respect, kind of.
Yeah, it's not just like fear, it's just like there's a lot of respect to the land and to just anything living in indigenous cultures. So even if it's like a bad thing, if they want to remain in good terms with Mother Earth, they will just do as much as they can to just be like, no, you know what, not my business, I'm not going to talk about it. I have a friend who, he and I were going to do a project, and we were going to do it was kind of like an indigenous like comic. He is indigenous, by the way, I just want to say. But he was like, yeah, like we could depict like this monster from this legend as the one from my legend kind of thing. And I was like, the Wendigo? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you can't say that, can you? I was like, no. But now we, eventually got to terms with that. But yeah, anyways, it was a very interesting thing. They're just spooky little guys, and winter's coming, so be on guard, I guess. We can go to the next slide, which we're going to talk about the Toronto Sewer Man. This one was kind of interesting. It was really cool. I think that's a comic, I don't know made when, but about the Toronto Sewer Man. I think there was another panel, but I didn't quite find it. But anyways, if that's a comic that somebody's aware of, the Toronto Tunnel Monster, if you don't know who, I think the artist is also named on the picture there. Go give it a check out. It looks really good. But the Toronto Sewer Man, also known as the Toronto Tunnel Man or Tunnel Monster.
That goofy little fucking guy.
He's just a goofy little guy. The one on the top there, that was just a funny picture. I was like, I need another picture for this slide. There's also a Memegwesi, I believe. Memegwesi, I think it is. Is the phonetic. The one on the right there is the phonetic spelling, but that's also like another Algonquin creature. But the Toronto Tunnel Monster, there's only like one sighting on it. It's a very weird, rare monster. And it's also relatively recent. I think it was
You know what it was? It was that monkey in the coat in the IKEA parking lot. Because that was in Toronto.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Honestly, yeah, that's kind of the vibe. So this one is very specifically tied to Toronto, Ontario. The monster is described by the original descriptor, the person who saw it, as long and thin, almost like a monkey. It's about 3 feet long, has large teeth, weighing maybe about 30 pounds, with slate gray fur. But what stood out to him the most was the orange and red slanted eyes. Just a little, it's, sometimes it doesn't have to be big to be super kind of freaky, and especially when you're going into a fucking tunnel. Yeah, of course I would be freaked out to see something that is bipedal with glowing eyes. As I was like, that's not where that shit's supposed to be here, not monkey. Like, what do you mean?
Fucked up
I would have been scared.
That's what I'm going with. Fucked up rat.
Sure. Oh yeah, I
would have been brave.
Yeah, you're right. Mister, I haven't seen a rat before.
I've never seen a rat before, no.
Didn't fucking think so.
Coward.
Yeah. Okay, go to the next slide.
Rats aren't real. We
Toronto,
live in Alberta.
I know. I've never seen a rat, therefore they don't exist. I was gonna say Ethan's probably like this. It's a map.
No, I love, dude. A whole bunch of cities have buried waterways. There's a whole bunch of these I could talk about in Edmonton too. But please continue.
No, it's okay. I know shit. I did not really look into the sewer, the tunnel, river, creek systems, and so if you want to go off about these, go right ahead.
I mean, we get our modern understanding of like disease spread from this kind of shit, right? Because when you talk about, there was that one well where the cholera spread. I forget the name of the street, but the fucking guy, he went there, and it was the street name was for a buried river, because all these rivers in growing cities in the Victorian era just become fucking open sewers. You cover them over with a street. You just cover them over, and now you have a permanent fucking flowing just untreated sewer, and that's the easiest way to do it. You just get that shit done, right? And so you have this whole network of just unknown rivers, like the Thames in London used to have tons of streams just flowing into it from a whole bunch of different angles, and they're all covered over, and they're all sewers now. And the same thing even in the city of Edmonton. Mill Creek still runs, but it doesn't run as far as it used to. There's a Fulton Creek by Wayne Gretzky Drive that was covered over because they built a freeway over it. Edmonton didn't have as much of a situation because it was kind of grew up as a city in a time when sewage systems were more understood than just, let's just brick over the local river. But still, I mean, you can get every city older than 200 years is going to have buried creeks and streams in it, where you're going to have buried this kind of history of this kind of map.
Mm-hmm.
I love when you accidentally stumble on something Ethan has an insane amount of knowledge on.
Accidentally? I put this in here on purpose.
That's fair.
We love maps.
I was like, this is a map.
I meant on buried waterways specifically, but...
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. I didn't know you were super into that, which is good to know. Learn things about you, bestie, every day.
It's so cool.
So, Toronto once had numerous streams and waterways that, as the city expanded, were built over, like you said, and became a network of underground waterways buried beneath the city and merging with the sewer systems. Early 1900s, the Garrison Creek specifically was, which I think is, you'll see on the left side there, bottom left area.
Yeah.
That one was polluted with sewage and refuse. Mid-1920s, the creek was completely buried. Many other creeks and rivers are still underground in that city's sewer system still. So, other than Garrison Creek, the rest should still be there. But before the city was built, Algonquin tribes in Canada had spoken of a man-like hairy creature that thrived in the rivers of the Toronto surrounding area before they were hidden away by the public. The Mimigwesi are apparently small water spirits usually said to inhabit rivers or riverbanks in the Algonquin history / mythos. Usually, they're benign creatures. They're not going to, bother anybody. But they were said to occasionally blow away canoes, steal things when they're not shown proper respect. And in some Ojibwe traditions, the Mimigwasi can only be seen by children or medicine people. Sometimes, if you give them something like tobacco or gifts, they'll be kind to you. But they're child-sized, hairy little guys with big ass heads, a strange voice, and apparently they make a sound like the whine of a dragonfly. I didn't put it down, but there's Memi, Memii, in Ojibwe is hairy. So some folks are trying to like depict where the word itself came from, but we know it as the Toronto Sewer Man.
An eloquent name.
From an
eloquent name. Exactly. There was a little note I thought was kind of cute. When Toronto buried many of its river systems, turning them into underground tunnels, were the Mimigwasi buried with them? Not as cute as I make it sound, but it was I was like, oh, that's cool. It's intriguing. It's getting me into the story. So let's read the sighting. You can go to the next slide. So the earliest and only sighting in 1978 is by this guy named Ernest. No last name. He was a resident of Toronto. He apparently, he and his wife raised kittens. One escaped. Ernest went to go look for the cat near Parliament Street in his apartment, and he came across a dark, quote-unquote, cave where he saw the living nightmare that he'll never forget. He saw with his flashlight the above-mentioned creature, This was in my notes, so I said above mentioned because of that. But the long, thin, large teeth, monkey-like creature with gray fur and a piercing orange, red slanted eyes. Ernest, he said he was reluctant about telling people about it because he didn't want people to think that he was drunk or crazy. But he also said that when he looked at the creature said, go away, in a hissing voice, that it took off down a long tunnel off to the side. And that was the last time he saw it. He eventually, I don't know if somebody reached out to him or he reached out to a reporter, but eventually he shared his story, and Barbara, like his wife, she believed him, and she said he was terrified when he came back to the apartment, and apparently doesn't scare very easily. He's known to have a drink in the past, like most people, but he was not drunk or drinking at all on the day of finding the monkey. Lots of Ernie and Barbara's neighbors and acquaintances agreed with her statement, solidifying Ernest as being mentally sound before the incident occurred. But other than that story, there isn't really much else, at least that I could find, or like at least that showed up surface level. Like it was just that kind of one. I'm sure there's more, probably word of mouth, maybe just not reported as per usual.
Yeah, that's just an unhoused guy in a sewer, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. There's probably an explanation that it's not a monkey.
It's probably like Cabbage Town, though. I don't know why.
Yeah, this is the greatest kind of headline I've ever seen.
Such
Tunnel
a strange
monster
headline.
of Cabbage Town. This just
Cabbage Town.
This is in the Sun, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I think you'll find it's in a newspaper.
No, it's not the Sun. I don't think.
What is it? Do you know?
I don't.
It's the Sunday Sun.
Oh, it is the Sun. Fuck yeah, I knew garbage toilet paper rag like the Sun would print a story like this.
1979, I think that says.
Mm-hmm.
4th page too.
Mm-hmm.
This is really important, riveting stuff.
The guy took his time reporting the story. Goddamn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's got to think on it.
He does. He's like, I really gotta make sure. Is this even real? And then he shared. Another reports of similar creatures in not exactly the same area, but similar kind of instance is the South American chupacabra. But that's kind of it for other like resemblances.
The closest thing that I know from the depths of my brain hole about something like this is the GTA 4 like Rat Man, where there was like a video game myth of an NPC that would run around in the subway lines under Liberty City in GTA 4.
I've never played that game.
I don't know.
I remember watching a whole fucking video about this. It was so stupid.
Fair. Oh, yeah. Okay. For the Toronto Sewerman, that's pretty much it. The next one and final cryptid is Mothman. Mothman. Okay. West fucking Virginia, boys. This is where... West Virginia. AKA other names. What else do you fucking call him? It's Mothman. We all know who the fuck he is. It's kind of a West Virginia icon. Local bisexual icon. Described as being a bipedal winged humanoid, and while the name in the papers was given to him as Mothman, he does not resemble a moth in the slightest. He instead has the appearance of a large humanoid owl, around 7 feet tall, wingspan of 10 to 15 feet or more, and can fly up to or above 100 miles per hour. Mothman's also mentioned to have reflective red eyes / glowing eyes. Doesn't matter. Either way, creepy ass eyes. On the top right there, that is the what's it called? The
plaque.
The little description that's on the Mothman. The plaque.
The plaque, yeah.
It's the plaque on the statue of Mothman in West Virginia. It's in.
I think you got it on 2 slides from now.
Point Pleasant. Yes, it's on a few slides from now. You can go to the next slide, though.
What the fuck?
So,
is that from Destroy All Humans?
I think it is.
I needed a picture of Men in Black. That's what I used.
Sorry.
Oh, dude.
You didn't just put Will Smith?
No, I did not. Okay.
That would have been good, too.
One of the first...
I'd love to talk about Men in Black.
It's a good movie.
The movie or the people?
The phenomenon.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was interesting to learn about.
I just remember we forgot about black-eyed kids. Oh, whatever.
Look, we can do another cryptids episode.
We'll do another cryptid, yeah.
Yeah, but you're gonna let me include ghosts and aliens in that one.
I feel like those had
that should
their
be a
own
separate
episode.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
maybe
we'll
aliens, maybe, but it depends. No, I think that's different.
I think aliens, especially, are something different.
Fucking
aliens?
paranormal bullshit. The episode, man. I almost said enema. Whatever.
There you go.
Enema.
Very normal enema, boys.
Very normal enema. Let's fucking get this enema. Okay. So, one of the first earlier sightings. I'm not too sure. Oh shit! I forgot to write that in the year. Whatever. One of them
50s,
was.
Right?
I could probably find it pretty quickly, but I don't want to.
Wouldn't it be on? Hold on.
It was like in the 1900s. It wasn't that long ago.
The Stone.
It was like early
It doesn't even say on the plaque.
The 1900s.
The 1900s is when they first found Mothman. The first sighting.
I think it was in the 50s.
Or one of the first sightings. Yeah, I think it was in the 50s. There was 5 men in a cemetery who were getting ready for burial, and they all saw a brown winged creature bursting into the air from the nearby trees. They said it was no bird, but a humanoid. The other infamous story, as you could see in the plaque on the statue from the slide before, were these 2 young couples who were driving out into the city, and Linda, one of the girls in the couple, saw 2 large glowing red eyes in the darkness right beside the old North Power Plant. She screamed, and the rest of the people in the car saw the creature, a 7-foot tall humanoid with wings folded against its back. It shortly started to chase the couples down the highway to Point Pleasant, quote, at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. Trying to convince themselves that what they saw was just an aberrant bird, they returned to the original site of the Mothman when they first saw it on the highway, and encountered the creature again. So apparently the Mothman was just waiting for it, like waiting for them to come back.
Assholes.
Fuck
Yeah,
those 2 guys
yeah.
in particular.
Yeah, it started to chase them, and then once they got out of sight, they're like, okay, I think we're okay, we can turn back around, face our fears, and then it just stood there waiting for them. Although as soon as their headlights hit the Mothman, it just flew back into the woods, apparently, and disappeared above the tree lines. So, but yeah, they're mostly seen in West Virginia and surrounding states, but the hottest points are within the TNT area, or actually known as the West Virginia Ordnance Works, which is an abandoned munitions depot north of Point Pleasant. The area is riddled with abandoned tunnels, whether they've been collapsed or sealed off or flooded. But the area itself is now encompassed by McClintock Wildlife Management. But apparently the first two couples, when they first encountered the Mothman, it took them some time to come forward to the Court County to be like, hey, we saw this weird shit, what do we do? And apparently the county was like, okay, let's go search for it. And after the search, there was like a press conference a few days later that attracted a lot of local press, and that's when the publishing of the stories of Mothman started to come into print, and it caused a plethora of other people to also come forward with their own stories of Mothman. Again, who knows if they're real or not, if they're just trying to pop on the trend, who knows? Yeah. This was the major event that started it all. In November 16th issue of the Point Pleasant Register, the strange encounter would be brought to the public eye with the headline, "Couple sees man-sized bird creature something." You can, actually, don't go to the next slide yet.
Engaging headline.
I know, right? So good. I know. I forgot one more thing. So during the following year, or more than a year, there was lots of people who shared their encounters, like I mentioned, but the Mothman witnesses, some of them, were harassed by the Men in Black, which the Men in Black were strangers dressed in dark suits who visited unidentified flying objects, UFOs, witnesses, and ufologists, and will often proceed to question, interrogate, harass, and threaten them into silence. The men sometimes present themselves as being part of a secret unnamed organization, although it is widely believed that they're government agents. That itself is a whole other conspiracy stuff. Obviously, there's weird shit going on, but the Men in Black came to Point Pleasant and told these people to shut the fuck up, tried to force them into silence after more people started talking about Mothman.
The Will Smith movie is inspired by like accounts of dudes looking just like that rolling up after UFO incidents, like Shag Harbor or fucking other things like that. Like I know Shag Harbor has Men in Black connected with it, but and we'll talk about UFO incidents in another episode, I'm sure. But yeah, Men in Black, it's maybe a thing. Ooh, yeah. That kind of stuff.
So for credibility, there is yet to be any credible physical or photographic evidence to truly support the existence of Mothman.
What do you mean? We're looking at him right here.
Yeah, this is right there, idiot.
Silver Bridge.
There has been some pictures mistaking Mothman in some photos, such as a photo of a bridge taken in 2003, which turned out to be just a piece of metal tilting and falling off.
It is a piece of metal just tilting and falling off. So it's the Point Pleasant Silver Bridge, and its collapse is well documented in the very first episode of Well, There's Your Problem.
Oh, cool. Fun fact.
That's the first one they did, and but it's just.
Did they talk about Mothman?
They did talk about Mothman, but it is just an engineering failure. It is just like an eyebrow snapping, I think.
That's funny. Unfortunate. Gotcha. The other picture is another example where photoshopped images are done for artistic purposes and not, quote unquote, not to fool anyone, but we all know probably fooled at least some people. You can go to the next slide, Connor.
Oh my god, it's him.
There he is, the infamous statue. There's other cryptids that has been compared, which is like gigantic thunderbird, also in the West Virginia area. Woo! Yeah, or the owlman, which is more of a cryptic in Cornwall, England, so not really in the same continent, obviously, but you know, something similar. The original couple, the original sheriff that took the witness's statement from the very first public report. Believe that Mothman is just a large heron. There's also a wildlife biologist by the name of Dr. Robert L. Smith who thought Mothman was just a sandhill crane, which the witnesses themselves disagree with, obviously, but there's skeptics as well that believe that like the owl comparison is the most compatible, because their eyes shine and the silhouette is very similar.
It was a great gray owl.
Yeah.
It was a great gray owl.
Yeah, you just see Peter Dinklage just running into the distance with his glowing red eyes. Oh fuck, is that his last name? I don't remember.
Peter Dinklage?
I hope it is.
Peter Dinklage?
No shit, what's his name? Pierce Brosnan. Oh my god.
Oh. Yeah, those are two very different people.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I was like, Peter Dinklage.
It's okay. That's
like, what the fuck
from the Game of Thrones, right?
What the fuck does Peter Dinklage have to do with any of this?
James Bond and Grey Owl is the name of the thing that we were talking about last episode. But yes,
yeah, those are two very different people.
No, it's okay.
Yes, I'm aware. I don't know why I got the names confused. They're both beautiful men. That's probably how I got
Peter
them
Dinklage is from Elf. Nothing else.
Pierce Brosnan is all right.
He's okay. I think he's cute, but not like that's kind of like us, you know.
He was the only
not much
good
for
part
talent.
of Black Adam.
Oh, was he in Black Adam?
Yeah, he was. He's Dr. Fate.
I don't
remember. He's still getting work.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Pierce Brosnan,
Mothman.
Yeah.
So there's also other legends that resemble Mothman, Shawnee legends surrounding similar creatures known as Misignawa, or the Wapi. I'm not really sure what they're supposed to be exactly. The Misangwa is kind of like either itself is a ceremonial dress or it wears a ceremonial dress for a specific ceremony. And then the Wapi is a similar legend telling the tale of a family who became White Hawks to live in the forests near Point Pleasant. So there's also some other, those are the indigenous mentions. Again, I would do more research if I had the time, but I didn't, so that's, another time.
Story of this episode.
Exactly.
Story of the show.
Story of this goddamn show. But Mothman itself also became famous by John Keel's book, The Mothman Prophecies, also adapted into a film. Mothman even has his own festival in Pleasant Point, West Virginia. It's an annual commemoration of the visit of the cryptid started in 2002, held on every third weekend of September. The festival features a variety of vendors, guest speakers, live music, food, and events for all ages. Yeah. I know we just missed it by 13 years.
What?
At least for the most recent. That one, I think it is. I'm just looking. That's just the symbol that has 2012 on the right. So I was like, what? It should be an event that still happens. I think that, like, when the Mothman Festival during COVID didn't go off, people were, like, openly very upset about it, and it was a whole thing. As far as I know, it still should be going on. But yeah. Beautiful. That's the only... Point Pleasant has become a nice city full of tourism thanks to beautiful good old Mothman. I'm pretty sure it was a city beforehand, but I'm sure it's even better since then. So, thanks Mothman for local tourism.
Thank you, Mothman.
Thanks Mothman.
Thanks Mothman.
Yeah, lots of arguments against it, being that it's just a big fucking owl. Other stuff as well. I'm not really... I'm not gonna say if I believe in cryptids or not. I do really like Mothman. Mothman's just cool shit. Kind of hot? Yes, no?
Kind of hot.
I mean, he is in that statue.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he fucking kills in that statue. But yeah, that's all I got. That's my cryptid list.
Nice. Yeah, that's it, folks.
Cryptids.
That was 15,
Cryptids.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
It was 15 because Ray dropped one 15. And I added one. I wasn't really going to talk about Ogopogo, but I decided.
I'm glad you did.
It worked out well, actually.
Yeah.
It sure did. That was
Thank
a good
God.
episode.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy.
Yeah, this worked out well.
I think so
happy Halloween, folks.
Spooky. Go kiss your local Mothman on the lips.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they kiss you back.
They deserve it. Yeah.
They do.
They
work hard,
tongue.
so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Go ride a sea lion.
No, don't
into
do
the
that.
ocean.
Don't do that.
Go kiss a sea lion on the little cute little heads.
Find a mermaid so that the mermaid's body found documentary can actually be real, and I'll be justified as believing it as a 12-year-old.
It'll never happen.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for listening to Don't Even Get Me Started, podcast with presentations about cryptids today. I'm Ethan. I have photography things. Don't find me in real life.
Here's Ethan's address. Go
we have
say
Ethan's
hi.
current location.
Joining me was Connor. They have photography and another YouTube channel, which may get a video soon.
I'm working on it.
We're hoping.
It's going to be like 2 hours long. I've been busy.
I'm so excited for it, though.
Me too. I'll watch it all in one sitting, and I'll comment on every little detail that I possibly can to annoy you and boost its ratings.
Thank you.
Ray has art Instagram. Ray
I haven't posted in months.
Connor does
you don't
editing,
make fun of Ray for
I
not drawing as much.
I respect Ray.
Alright, fuck you too, man. I thought we were friends.
Love you too, Connor. But yes, Connor did the editing. Ray did the thumbnail art, and I am fighting you in the comments. Thanks for listening. Happy Halloween.
Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes out in 4 hours. I need it.
I believe in you, Connor. You can
Please control yourself.
I need it. I want it now.